Welcome, everybody. It's 1, 2, 3 on the clock. So 1, 2, 3, jump. Take that leap of faith. I have two of my 3 deck reads for you, one from yesterday and today, and I also have the 7 deck read on the table for you today. I've gotten multiple messages. I didn't give it to you yesterday because I was waiting for confirmation. It was coming up again today. I was getting Kilimanjaro coming up as erupting, which is supposed to be a calm volcano right now. And that comes up in the second 3 deck read. I'm going to do the one from yesterday first, and then the one from today, and then we'll do the 7 deck read on the table. We're going to roll the die as well. Let's first take a few deep breaths, and remember, we're breathing in ether. You might want to wrap it around your heart, or however you're guided to do it yourself. Wrap that energy around your heart, and literally pulling in ether. Allow it to just phase out and distribute through your arms and your legs and up through your head and out through your auric layers, but then the energy is supposed to fire up around you and go straight back up to source. And I keep getting those messages. So let's go ahead and take 3 of those deep breaths, and you might want to hold it if you can. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. In ether around your heart. Let it go out to your arms and your legs and your head, your auric layers, and then direct it up through the fire in your belly. And one more deep breath. Remember, I'm just getting now a reminder for you guys to cut your cords every day, and to a good way of clearing too is to imagine a magnet above your head to allow it to pull all the crap out of your etheric body that doesn't serve you right now. And then the healing hands, you might want to call in Archangel Sandalphon or whoever you resonate with to go ahead and do some healing after they pull the energy out with the magnet. But just, yeah, and remember, it's just all about high vibe love and natural boundaries. And let's get going with this. We're going to roll the die. Today is October 5th, 2022. The 5 is the Hierophant, and the day adds up to 21, I believe it is. I could stop and add it, but I know I wrote it down. Yep, so we have the 5 of the Hierophant, which is all about commitment and guidance, societal norms. And 5 is freedom, change, and expansion. Also, romance comes up with 5, and vacations, things like that. Anything that has to do with excitement and change. And the world, so coming full circle, completion. And by the way, it's the day is the world, which is 21/3, and we started the reading at 1, 2, 3. So the 1, 2, 3 is very significant here today, which 21 is also, for me, the world is Pisces energy. So let's go ahead and roll the die, see what comes up for the twins. Whoops, as I knock everything all over the place. So, a little bit of messiness maybe coming up here. The need to clean up. And that came up in one of the reads as well. We have Mercury here. So Mercury, which is Gemini and Virgo, and lots about the messenger and Mercury all the time in the reads this week. And then we have the 3 again of the 1, 2, 3, but also 3 of March, which is Pisces going into Aries, the change from the old to the new, right? 1 foot in this world, 1 into the next. The 3 is also the Empress and Taurus. So we have Gemini and Virgo and Taurus there, and then we have Libra over here, which we're in Libra right now, and that's all about finding balance, truth and balance and alignment. So abundance, balance, and communication. And that's also Taurus in the North Node, which is a fixed sign. Libra is cardinal. And then we have the mutables. So very well balanced as well. All right, so let's go. We have the first read here. Sorry about a little bit of the rocky noise in the background. That's Teddy Bear chewing on his bone to keep him happy so he won't bother us during our video. I hope you don't hear it too much because I have my mic on. You shouldn't hear it too much. But here is the first read. Is that the first one from yesterday? Yep. This is the first one from yesterday. And actually this first card is the same underlying energy in both reads for the Metatron deck. Then we have Nature's Whispers here and Shaman Dreams. The underlying energies on the left, the pile that I have to count on at the end of each right, and then the cards that came out organically. So these came out 2 and 2, and then the 2 together here, and then these 2 apart. I'm just going to bring it up now so you can see the cards a little bit closer and the details of the cards for Metatron, Nature's Whispers, and at the bottom, Shaman Dreams. And for this read, for whatever reason, I felt I was guided to pull a few extra cards, so they came into the read too. That's the Lenormand deck. Okay, so this first one was done at 11:22 yesterday morning. And the piles were 3, 2, and 6 cards, which is the Empress, the High Priestess, and the Lovers. 6 is also love, family, and community. 3 is also coming together, socializing. And the 2, of course, is one-on-one connections and partnerships, the Divine Feminine and the High Priestess energy. So the Journey of Lovers and the Abundance of the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is that energy of inspiration, like a teenage kid who's really excited to go on a date or something like that. At 11:40, which is alignment of the 40, which is the Page of Cups, which often the masculine and feminine come up as the Page of Wands and Page of Cups, and they can be interchangeable. The 40 is that Page of Cups. The underlying energy was the 29 of the 3 of Wands, which is the Blue Madonna card, present with gifts and aligned with Sirius, to breathe in the transition and fly free in the aqua rose gold mother's heart, pulling in gifts into the physical heart, purging endings each day in the sunset. So we talked about this on another read, that dinner time is to, you pray before you eat to become one with your food, to transmute any energies of the traumatized animals or plants that you may be eating. And you enjoy your meal, and it's supposed to be like a free zone after dinner to have a nice family discussion. And it's also a place where you can air your grievances of the day without judgment from anybody else, but everyone's allowed their opinions. It's just no one's allowed to judge the others for their opinions, in order to purge every day instead of letting things build up and then letting it go in the sunset, where the sunset's representing the reflection of your ancestors, giving you compassion while you do that. So, and I have to say, with my great-grandfather used to do that with my grandmother, and my mom says that was her favorite time in her childhood, was those Fridays where they'd come together and have long discussions at night. So, purging endings each day in the sunset with compassion, that you are held by the fire dragon here, number 19, which is the sun, breathing in the ether to the heart, and then firing up. The pyramid in the dragon picture here is the pyramid, the fire in your belly. So bring in the ether to the heart, and then firing it up like a hot air balloon with that fire in your belly to release the excess energy up, to release up the mother's cool and the dragon's humidity and warmth in humility. The 17 so the mother's coming up as cool and dry, and then the dragon's humidity and warm in humility. 17 is conquering your fears to heal with assistance, with your dreams coming true. And then the creation temple came up, and I haven't watched Susie. I forget if it's Beiler or Byler. I always forget which one it is. But it's Beiler, Susie, Susie, if you've never watched. She channels Prime Creator, and it's called The Creation Temple, and her website is under her name, so you can check out her story if you'd like. But she's been around for a long time. I actually saw her many years ago out in Sedona. But I haven't watched her in a long time, so I was watching a few of her videos, and they were very good information. So I would check her out for sure. but she was coming up, the creation temple, and the collective awakening with the King of Wands, in duality needing balance. Leadership dance to answer the call, with flame in hand and ring in 3 keys. The Queen of Wands representing the physical body, and she's been coming up as Isis here, to stretch and lunge to release that excess energy to source. Water, 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 with the dolphin, of course, a friendly source, as the Queen of Cups is representing more of the emotional body of Mary Magdalene, to release the emotional body and the light body back up to source, with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, with dolphin, chariot, and water in between. Just make a correction here. Drink, soak, and swim up that water. Fire, water, and air is humidity, like steaming your face over a pot with a towel over your head, like when you have a cold. Breathing in the ether and steaming it from the fire in your belly up, the hot air balloon, the beacon, be lighter. The mass weighs down, the space between, or the ether, lightens it up, and the water evaporates when it boils, like in dry phoenix temperatures. And at 12, it was just 12 noon there too, where I said be lighter, and the sirens were going off right at noon there. Remember that light equals LIG is flame and HT is height. It's the flame height, pulling your flame up, as Archangel Sandalphon is with you now, as dolphin sonics purify and raise the water frequency. And remember, you are mostly water. Aquamarine angels, and keeping the ocean's high vibe, relax and flow as dolphins know, passing wisdom of Atlantis and Lemuria. So from the Ascension deck, not the Syrian Starseed deck, but the Ascension deck that I used, I brought it up on my last read, and Dolphins and Neptune had come up, and they were coming up continually again here as well. So 23 was coming up as the Dolphin card, which is also the King of Wands, and then 19 comes up in the Ascension deck as Neptune, which holds the wisdom to tune into the Earth Star chakra to connect with Neptune, which kind of sounds wrong, right? Because Neptune you think of as all, dreamy, so you think of the Soul Star chakra. But they're asking you to tune into the Earth Star chakra to connect to Neptune, the cosmic Earth Star chakra. Archangel Sandalphon oversees this center, to nurture your divine potential. And then 31 card came up with Thoth, which is very much the scientific mind of the Atlantis. So the card talks about Thoth and the Atlantis Incas. And to see your body as that orchestra, the orchestra of the body, making sure that all the instruments are tuned. And by the way, when I brought up Thoth, the birds and the geese went by. That was really funny. And 1209 is the Hanging Man and the Hermit. Aligning each area of your body to a higher purpose for harmonious life and health. Bring source, stars, and our own energy field to healing crystals. This was also connected with Thoth. Remembering that two plus more gather in humility to focus on these crystals, a powerful healing can take place. And then that's the number 24, which is the Queen of Wands and Isis coming up. But Isis isn't 24 in this deck, though. So Lemurians come up there with the number 24 in this deck. And the 27, and I believe in this deck it says Isis was Ma-Ra in Lemuria. And then 27 of Metatron, which is connected to Thoth, but it's more of the etheric level of the energy as opposed to the Thoth, which is more the human scientific energy of that link. So, and the Metatron card comes up with the golden orange color as he walks with, or for your stellar gateway chakra to attune to Luxor if you want to connect with Metatron here. Then 36, card number 36 was Lord Cthulhu, aka Saint Francis, which I guess I'm significantly connected because I was in St. Francis of Assisi before it went down in a backroom mass with a blue-eyed, brown-eyed monk with my ex who was Italian. He was from Italy. But St. Francis also was Shah Jahan, who built the Taj Mahal, which has been coming up in my reads a lot lately. And also Melchior, one of the wise men, who practiced harmlessness, love, and wisdom. The Brotherhood of the Golden Robe, transmuting the pain of the world. Be ready to learn, according to that card. It's also 36, which is the Atlas energy of the weight of the world. And then 38 came up, which in this deck is Isis, whereas in my other deck it's the Mary Magdalene energy, and the Queen of Wands is more of the Isis energy. But it's really the same lineage, right? So Isis is Ma-Ra in Lemuria, the High Priestess of Atlantis, mother of Horus in Egypt, and Mary, mother of Jesus. And again, the energy of I face my challenges with calm and strength. And then 52, which is the Queen of Swords, was the Mary Mother's aquamarine mantle card, that there is only one love and there is nothing to forgive. Kuan Yin was also coming up as the 12th ray of unconditional love, with that Charisse pink of divine feminine love and compassion, where the divine feminine powering up within men and women to nurture and empower, affecting the stellar gateways and building the Antakarana bridge to source. So that was Kuan Yin coming up. So again, very much a lot of mother energy coming up of, Mary, Sophia, and Kuan Yin and Isis to bring in that compassion for you. So they're bringing up Susie again, because when I did my session with her years ago, she was kind of impressed at how much compassion was coming in for me, perhaps not understanding the twin flame journey at that time, and understanding that the connection that we have to overcome any wounds regarding to that connection, especially when it comes, the sexual energy comes up in that connection there. But there's a lot of compassion that was coming through, and she did her read for me. So, and that was, really in Dark Night of the Soul many years ago. So at 12:25 here, which is the Hanging Man and the Knight of Wands, was Saint Dolphin and Saint Dolphin for me, that's my nickname for Archangel Sandalphon. Saint Dolphin with Mu and Isis, Mary Magdalene, assisting you now on the Fool's Journey. The 54 of the Page of Swords is the collective message from Mercury and 0 point field in the purple moon. The divine feminine softness of the castle on cloud 9 was sine wave trail left behind, like breadcrumb trails for the others who are coming after them. And the 43 of the Three of Cups coming together to pause to receive healing. So again, that magnet energy, and then the hands of healing afterwards. Sandalphon and Metatron both coming up for that. Call in whoever you resonate with. To counteract the King of Wands in duality. So again, remember that you're connected to your other. So if one or the other goes into their masculine and off balance in that King of Wands energy of too much ego, you may feel it, and it may be up to you to transmute those energies to come back into balance again. And also the picture of the ovaries and the womb were coming up. It's very interesting, how the ovaries and the arms of the fallopian tubes and the ligaments that go back to the uterus make the shapes of hearts with the ovaries. And then the womb very much looks like a tear-shaped energy, with the womb itself being that kind of a star shape, but instead of a cross star, it's just got three legs, like the Mercedes symbol. So on the journey, the Page of Swords comes together with the Knight of Cups, healing heart with green, and that's that Emerald Order energy, and Raphael, though. Raphael is very much about physical healing. Saint Dolphin is with a message, and Raphael to heal your heart. The Page of Swords and the Knight of Cups, healing the King of Wands, with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups and Dolphin help. So here's that energy of all of the Sophia line through Mother Mary and Isis and Mary Magdalene coming together to bring compassion with the dolphins and dolphin sonics to help heal the King of Wands, the king of the hill, so to speak, with a lot of ego, which knocks them off balance. And then they need help to get back into balance again through our connection. That can be the feminine going too much into their ego of the King of Wands as well. We have 3 cards then next, which were coming up as 3 keys. The Queen of Wands with Lemuria and Mu, crystal healing and the earth, and then Saint Dolphin with water healing and again water, and then the Queen of Cups as Isis Mary Magdalene and the sacred sexuality healing with fire. So, well, the Queen of Wands comes up as Isis, and the Queen of Cups comes up as Mary Magdalene, and they're bringing up water and dolphin energy between them, the sonics energy. So water in between the earth and the fire. And that makes sense, right? Bringing water to like the earth or the forest fires, and then bringing water in between them to douse the fires. Along with breathing in the ether, which is fire, the dragon breath is ether. But along with breathing in the ether, making a conscious intent to bring in ether, bright light sharpened to cut through. And again, spirit was coming up again here because spirit's coming up as S for Sophia, Pi as pi, the circle with the line down the middle, right? Half and half equally. And then the N and the T is that can be Jesus on the cross, but it also comes up as right, the R-I-T-E, rites of passage. So it's coming up as equal rights for women, really, spiritually. So spirit is coming up as Sophia in equal rites of passage. Also, Sophia is the Sophi, she's Sophi in human connection. The sun and the star with the 23 of the King of Wands between the 3 and the 8 of the 38, Mary Magdalene, on the journey of the Page of Swords 54 with Mercury, communication, to come together with the Knight of Cups for heart healing, to be love, in 39. So we have the 3 equaling the Queen of Wands, 24 with 24, 7, and 38. So again, the 2 queens with the chariot between. Remember the 7 is also gamma in Phoenician, which I've been bringing up. So di gamma is 2 gamma rays, and the symbol for gamma is like half of a capital F is 1 gamma. So the capital F is di gamma, but it came from what looks more like the 7, but more in a boomerang shape. It's not straight across, but curves over a bit like a boomerang. So the 7 is actually symbolic of the digamma from the Phoenicians, and that twin ray of both the masculine and the feminine between the 24 and the 38 of the Isis energy and the Mary Magdalene energy, right? The fiery and the more heart-based side of the divine feminine here, or both of them being in their feminine at the same time with the chariot between, the feminine within the masculine ascending into their power of the divine feminine, right? Because we're raising the masculine feminine as well as the feminine's feminine, right? Clearing the distortions for both. For Isis and Mary Magdalene and the gamma ray between, or the chariot, right? So the chariot is the vehicle of infiltration, which the gamma rays are. They get into our bodies. The King of Wands gamma ray chariot between Isis of the womb and the mu, and then the chariot is to take them there, because there's that heart-womb connection, right? So Isis is coming up as the womb, and Mary Magdalene is the heart, and then this went into a whole thing about all of the different couples of the tarot. So it came up as the root chakra is the chariot. Or Mother Earth, actually. And that can represent both in a way. But then we go into the sacral chakra, which represents the Queen of Wands. The solar plexus is the quantum entanglement field, right? The solar plexus where you get nervous because there's literally quantum entanglement there. The King of Wands is there when he gets knocked off balance or gets stressed out or nervous or scared. Gets knocked off balance, and that's also coming up as the number 33, connection to the sun, our solar plexus. Then in the heart is the Queen of Cups, and then to the throat of the King of Cups of unconditional love. And then to the third eye of the Queen of Swords of light, and then the crown of the King of Swords of light, and then going up to the the higher chakra systems of the Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles, which are coming up as the 66, right, the Golden Gate, and that connection to the 99, which is source energy. And the Queen of Pentacles, of course, comes up as Sophia energy, and past 99 is the 100, which comes up as the 1, which is 2 dots arcing to each other back and forth, and then the 2 zeros of source embodiment, as one source connecting the dots. That's the 100, after the 99 of unlimited compassion. So, right, there is no 100. It never stays there because it's always source energy connecting with itself. So we have the 1 at 101. Yeah, and the womb is very much coming up. You know that the womb is where source connects, right? To where a baby enters into the womb. But it's like the connection comes through the solar plexus into the ovaries. And that's part of the Holy Grail system right there, right? Because the Holy Grail is the cup that cups the heart, and then the bottom that curves down over the top of the womb. The stem of the Holy Grail is that quantum entanglement, that solar plexus of the King of Wands. The solar connection is that Christ energy of the masculine, that direct connect, so to speak, that fire in your belly, but there's quantum entanglement there. There's distortions there that need to be smoothed out. And I literally was, in one of the clearings I had a couple years ago, she was literally seeing that quantum entanglement and untangling the strands. And I was able to see that with her, because I can see a lot of what they do when someone else works on me. So at 1:01 p.m. yesterday, which is the Magician and another Magician, or the 10 of Destiny and the Wheel, and the Magician embodiment, the Divine Masculine energies, the underlying energy of the Hermit 9 and the 25 of the Knight of Wands, with the perfect setting to keep your dreams alive. As the sun rises through the clouds and the blue baby blows a kiss, the 31 to be spontaneous, using Thoth and Metatron, both scientific and metaphysical understandings across the orange of ego. The sun's energy is trapped in a human body, wanting to get out. Group endeavors of conflict or games to bend toward each other, to heal the root, to flower the crown. The big picture of love, family, and community, to seek beauty in all aspects of all people and beings. 11 candles of alignment of dear one, singing you happy birthday, and covered in wishes all over. The 44 of the grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love, but also the social worker type of Atlas energy. It's also the 3D dance, but a very high vibe 3D dance, just before going into the fourth density, or dimension rather. To have control over every aspect of your life is to be present in the moment and to be in your physical body, doing social work while soaking in plasma ethers. The 28 of the choice of path are the twin flames, preparing the atmosphere along with their bird friends, with artwork and rainbows and flowers and butterflies, even bird reflections in the sink. Whether wearing antennae or sparkles on your head or wishes or flames in your hair or flowers in your hair. It's a bountiful harvest of group waves of love, grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive the twins. At 111, the Magician embodiment and the alignment of justice, truth, and balance. As the fire dragons prepare the earth, right? So like the twins have been decorating the ethers and clearing the fields, the twins who are missioned to do that work. Now they're talking about the dragons, preparing the inner earth as well, so that the collective will be prepared to receive the twins' energy, because it's going to be a very high vibe energy when all the twins come together. So at 112, which is the Magician and the wisdom of the Hanging Man, the 49 to heighten your vitality when not feeling quite right or high energy, to imagine the sun, also human touch or a friend to lighten your day. The 32 of the journey to trust your own understanding and perspective, and the 19 to shift your energy with the sun, change a habit or release something you don't need. With 2 cards here, which is the Divine Feminine High Priestess, but the 2 is also duality, as well as mediation. The Page of Cups is showing support, as well as the 46 of the children, the small children, of gratitude and appreciation. They don't have to be little kids, they can be your grown children as well. But again, that sweet support of the pets and the children, showing their support and their gratitude and appreciation. And the man in the canoe, of course, on the whispering bench, with flowers and little ones and unicorns too. At 124 is the Magician and the Queen of Wands, the underlying energy of the 21 of the first breath of the beginner's mind. And remember, 21 is the world and the wholeness, completing a cycle to start anew. The breath of beginner's mind, the 28 of the twin flames in the choice of path, of the hollow bone, being empty, B1. So those literally, hollow means empty, and bone is B1. The twin flames is the hollow bones, to empty oneself, to become that instrument, that hollow instrument, and B1. For first breath each time, in order to be teachable each time. So again, being that perpetual student of life. The 56 of the Two of Swords, of the wall and obstacles, and knowing without knowing that it's just a leap across, a hole in one. The projector, like the womb, with a place of entry and exit, projecting the audience watching the movie, or from behind of the audience watching, to see that all the world's a stage on the other side. So again, like being within, watching the movie, as opposed to being without, where all the world's a stage, and watching both perspectives from within. And there's that energy of the projector, literally on the card, was coming up like this, which looks like the pyramid with the hole in the center, right? The portal, which is also the energy of the womb, to be able to leap in and leap out through dimensions. Projecting within or on the stage without, a student of life. And remember, empty is also the letter M and the letter T, which is co-creation in time out, or the capital T can also be source, right, at the top. And then the 50 of the 10 of Cups and the happy family or emotional fulfillment. And the wall was also coming up as tee-hee, like little kids laughing, tee-hee, which is funny. I think that's on my sister's plate. But the W here comes up as the double V's as opposed to the double U's, which V is creation. So it's that co-creation energy, but also of the two U's. The double U's all, and the tee-hee of giggling, or time out for he. 20 or two U's, or co-creation, and the human connection to the 11, or jettisoning to 2, because 11 is a 2. 2 is two right angles that become the Holy Grail, like two capital L's. When they push them together, they become the capital U. The Holy Grail with connections. For two right angles, when you put the two right angles times 2 together, the two right angles becomes the star. It makes the star, which is the X on an angle, the toroidal field on a trajectory with longitudinal interference, or that thorn in your side to cause you to change direction, or a wake-up call. The 10 of Cups 50, which is that emotional family or emotional fulfillment, or the end of that emotional cycle, with the spirit of the river, with movement here towards adventure. So then Sophia comes up, again that energy of spirit, because we talked about spirit going down the river in the movement towards adventure, which spirit was Sophia's rites of passage of equal rights for women of the river, where river is one who splits in fear or honors with great awe and devotion. The last card dealt, or surrender either way, to let loose or come ashore, to break, tear apart, or explode, or to just let it happen, pushing or releasing. One leading or enterprising. So at 150, so here's the 50 again, is the Magician embodiment or the Divine Masculine, and the 50 of emotional fulfillment, or closing out an emotional cycle, where spirit equals Sophia's equal rites of passage in going with the flow. So the two of the Divine Feminine High Priestess, beloved, with radical acceptance of duality, with their heart on fire and yet hiding in the winter's dream of sex and then pregnancy, right? So the fire part of it is the sex, and then the pregnancy is the hiding part. And then the 43 of Three of Cups of coming together in the overflow of joy of when the birthing of the baby happens, of overwhelming plenty, or the child or star is born. The Taj Mahal. So here again comes up Lord Kuthumi and St. Francis, and to be ready to learn. And again, the capital F is 2 gamma rays. It's the energy of the twin flames. And notice if you put the old way, this is the capital F is digamma, and this is the original F was the other way, that boomerang that I talk about. You see how the digamma is literally twin flames. So we have the capital F alone is the 2 gamma waves, but the other way of writing it is that opposite way. And it also looks like the toroidal field, which also when you write JC looks like the toroidal field on an angle with directional influence. So, and also the one that looks like a 7 times 2, the digamma, is the 7-7 of the sovereign. So they always work out in the end. So the acceptance of duality with heart on fire, yet hiding in the winter's dream, of sex and pregnancy and the 3 of Cups coming together in the overflow of overwhelming plenty, or the child or star is born. The Taj Mahal of Lord Kuthumi and St. Francis asking you to be ready to learn harmlessness, love, and wisdom. And also somebody asked Susie in one of her videos yesterday about healing your eyes, so you don't have to wear glasses anymore, and her response from Creator was coming up to see with the eyes of God. So there you go for that as well. 36, that's a good reminder, right? To stay in your higher dimensional being, because it's so easy to slip back into 3D being when you're talking to people that you don't always talk to, who may be very 3D based. Just as a good reminder to see through the eyes of God. The 36 of the Atlas energy with the weight of the world in raising a star or child. With Pisces energy here of 1 foot in this world and 1 in the next, and the baby still in both worlds, even before now when they're very little, as we all know, the young children still very easily connect to the other side. And like when my daughter was little, she used to see ghosts walk into the bathroom all the time. My son used to tell me how he was in the war in his last life. And then when I had a psychic reading, she told me he died when he was 18 in the war prior to this life. So up to the age of 5, as far as I was understanding, was always a very mutable time where you can come and go still, for the child anyway. And if they come in and pass before the age of 7, it's because they came in to pay debts for you, so that you'd be able to, live more free and clear by having experienced that wound. So Pisces energy of love, and with 1 foot in this world and 1 in the next, where the baby is still in both worlds, and you with so much to do. 53 of the Knight of Swords, where the stranger with laser hands is curious to dive deep to create steam, right? He's got laser hands, and again, that's Kilimanjaro is coming up as there's 3 cones of Kilimanjaro, and that'll come up in the second read, but it's coming up as like the way the 3 cones are working together to trigger the one to erupt. So again, this is paralleling with the twins and the 3 cones, and here's the man with the laser hands curious to dive into the water to see what might happen with his laser hands underwater to create steam. And the 23 of the King of Wands and Fortune's Wheel of luck and right timing, as the Knight of Swords and the King of Wands come together at 18, or 0 point. So 18 for me is the purple moon, but it's also that energy of 144 raised to the next level to dance continuously, not just the lap dance, but the do-si-do. The 0 point of eyes of the eagle rising above the fray, where the eagle oracle with beak and ornamentation, or protected passageways, with aperture out of this world, a hole, a split, a gap, an opening, or antenna, or a ray. Those are all definitions of aperture. as the crows were talking outside at 2:01, so talking crows could be coming up. 2 of the divine feminine, 1 of the masculine, the array. To be open or uncover a ray. The eagle that sees a ray, or aura, or golden ray, or E. So this is the eyes of the eagle is literally breaks down to the capital E, which is 1 equal and congruent to yes, of the EA glee. So perhaps Elizabeth April is coming up here as well. 1 equal and congruent to yes of the EA glee, because she's always smiley and very light, or 1 equal and congruent to the Y of the EA galactic E, which is actually F of the digamma underlined as the Federation, which is what she channels. So gamma was coming up in the different symbols of that, right? So the key going, the top of the F, just one line up and down, and then the lowercase gamma, which looks like a Y. But then the Phoenician gamma is the one that looks like a 7 or a boomerang. Underlining the F becomes an E, as digamma or twin gamma rays or photons. And the number associated with gamma is 0.55721566. So the 2 gammas in the digamma or twin gamma ray or photon comes up as 1.1, 144, 3132. So it comes up as the meanings of gamma are also magnetic flux density, which equals the number 1 and then lowercase n and capital T, which for me, lowercase n is Jesus and capital T is source, right? That dead end at the top. 1 of that Jesus source energy, that 1 connect. 1 is 2 dots connecting and arcing from Jesus to source, that direct connect of the human embodiment of source to source. And the flight path and how much you deviate from the axis or the horizon, which supports you in balance, right? The horizon is there, or the axis is there to support the vertical pillar. And so when they do flight schedules, they want to see how much off of the horizontal plane, what angle are they going away from that balance or that support system, or the rate of change in the delta, right? The delta is also the Y, or the triangle of the rivers. It's the merging of the waters, whether apart or coming together, related to the change in the price. So how does going off balance change the value of matter, or the things that you deal with in the 3D? So the gamma is gametes, so it's the twin gametes. We're talking about digamma here. So we have 2 gametes, 2 ranges, 2 spectrums, 2 arrays, 2 selections or assortments between the twins. And again, the energy of the key 7 of the Phoenician gamma and the boomerang at the Y in the road. And again, that phased array at 0 point of the star that I always show you with the reflecting trees of each twin on either side and then the star between that I always show you. And then I said I had the drawings of the wombs were coming up on the prior page, which I was just sketching real quick at the top there. You see all the womb drawings there. And then on this page was the reference to the fallopian tubes, fingers coming around the egg here. It's like a hand holding onto an egg. Is that same energy of the phased array and 0 point field. The Y in the road is coming up as the hand holding it at 0 point. Again, where we make interdimensional connection. Like the ovary and the fallopian tubes, the toroidal field, which is straight up and down, or the boomerang, which I was also getting boomerang, with direction, knocking it off balance with a trigger or interference or unexpected influence, something unexpected. From the eagle's nest to the 11 of the deep quiet of meditation and aligning within in stillness. The 12 of the dragon's horde, which is the hanging man, right? Holding on to what he's got, hanging out, protecting the future. With the 59 of the 5 of swords and the wailing tree, the inner war of the family. which at 2:17, the geese flew by again really close. And then the squirrel was in my pots at the same time. And it was so funny because the squirrel was in my pots right outside this front window. And Teddy was like having a little sweet face off with him. He wasn't barking or anything. He was just watching the squirrel doing what he was doing. And the squirrel initially didn't move at all. He didn't flinch when Teddy was on the other side of the window. It's kind of funny, actually. So the 5 of Swords are the inner of the Wailing Tree, the inner war of the family. And the 42 of the Netcaster, of the 2 of Cups, of 1 to 1, of preparations that come to fruition, with heart, the golden heart in the hand, where the universe is your partner. Thoth and the birds aligning with a higher purpose, which then brings them to Metatron. The 54 of the Page of Swords, Mercury, messenger, initiation by crossing the bridge. There were 6 cards here. 2 as, and then I was getting here, instead of 1 for all and all for one, it was coming up as 2 as 1 for all, and then the all of AWL for 1, say 2, because as becomes say if you reflect it. So 2 as 1 for all, and all for 1, say 2. Digamma is 1.11, 1.1, 144, 3, 1, 3, 2. So it's 1 plus 1, or the 2 twins with a dot or space between, and the 144, 3 transitioning to 2, or the 144 group in pursuit of the impossible dream, i.e. the Fool's Journey. At 254, which is then again the High Priestess, Divine Feminine, 54 of the Page of Swords, 6 cards of the lovers and the family. As the 46 of the inner children, and here specifically the root girl, the disowned self, and the 48 of the 8 of Cups, walking away within, as the sky dancers, surrendering and doing that walking away within. Sophia, remember sky is Sophia's KY, her energy at the Y in the road. Sophia's KY dancers, energy at 0 point. The 4 of the caterpillar, the cat ER or urgent pillar, the emperor cat unraveling the sine wave, and slits for eyes and discs as well. An opportunity, for the 58/4, or the 4 of Swords, in 5D connection to smash the particles in the vanishing mirror, the ego sublimation. Or the emperor who's looking in the mirror, the man in the mirror, and smashing all the old concepts of himself, breaking through the mirror, the reflection, the veil, the vortex to do the particle dance and get it over with. Finding themselves on the other side, the 60 of peace of the totem watchers, the Tyon connection. So there's 2 twin flame types that come through here, right? The totem pole in the desert, which is referenced as the Tyon connection, the tiger lioness, and they're a totem pole, right, where one's piggyback on the other, but they're all the same color, even though they're a tiger and a lion in the desert. Whereas the other couple that comes together is that one of grace and generosity, which they're like, it's like being in your own movie room at home, all cuddled up on the couch in the mushroom, the 2 furry ones all cuddled together, as opposed to the totems in the desert. So the Tyon tiger is coming up here with the lioness piggyback, 2 dimensions in 1 pole, the flyer and the grounder, as the grounder holds the flyer down as not to float away. So again, in this, what was coming up again is the digamma number of 1.1, 144, 3, 1, 3, 2. Resting in peace as lovers do, watching the show in a cool desert response. The 6 of Cups, vulnerable children, at the root, reaching up for the sky dancers in surrender as the emperor rests in peace. In the 62 of the will-o'-the-wisp, which is the foolish fire, a delusion, a prison with treasures hidden in the shadows, or release from prison or anxiety. Resting in peace in release, the little girl who broke out of prison or scaled the walls with help of her other. And then I'm getting you too again. I would scale these city walls. I'm just trying to think of the song off the kill, but I Will Climb Any Mountain is going to come up in the next read as well. So, and Spirit's connecting with me like crazy right now. But that YouTube song, you might want to listen to that again. So at 311 is the Empress and the 11 of alignment, truth and balance. And then 313, which came up in the digamma number. 313 is the 3 of the Empress and the 13 of the Death card, transition. Where here the cards came up 38, 28, and 39, which is the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the 28 twin flames between. So they're coming up as the twin flames, Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups, and the choice of path or 0 point between. The burn bridges, and they both of the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups had 2 things in their cards, right? The Queen of Cups 38 has the twin bridges in her card, and the masculine Knight of Cups over here comes up with the roll of the die, or 2 bridges that need work, and 2 blocks with numbers on them, or symbols. 1 diving deep, and 1 in the birdhouse, meeting somewhere in the middle at Om or home in a heartbeat. And it was coming up as this polarity of the well and the birdhouse, right? Where the well you dive deep, and the birdhouse is coming up as the axis, and this is coming up as the vertical pillar, right? Because there's a hole through here in the birdhouse, but also it's off the ground. Again, the flyer and the grounder. And so on the ground or up in the air, top down or side to side, and that comes up a lot too with the collective awakening, being on the ground with the troops or doing it from above. And then what came up is the dragon's breath again of ether, and the fire in the belly, dragged around the world. So again, it's so funny when they bring up the dragon's breath and dragged around the world. So they're dragging in, like taking a drag of ether. The dragon's breath dragged around the world in 88 days, 81 to end karma, and 7 to create a new world. Getting ready with all the decorations for St. Francis. And Francis was coming up as the F of the digamma, R-A is Ray, the capital N for me is Christ, and the C for consciousness, and the IS is coming up as the I am Sophia. I am Sophia. The digamma or twin rays ran the Christo Sophia with shared chakra system. And then CIS is also coming up, and this formula coming up with the definitions of CIS. So first, the formula here is CIS with the x in parentheses equals cosine x plus the lowercase I sin x, which is sine, but it reads as sin. So the way it translated here is their 8th dance. The x for me is the 2 each coming an 1/8 of a way towards each other to make the x. Their 8th dance equals the COS dance, or cos and cause, and the I sin dance, the chakra system sin dance to clear the wounds. The cosine can come up as the S, right? The sine wave. The dance and the chakra and sin dance, where cosine equals the COS it means cosine, but also because, cousin, I sew, body, corpse, basket, foot, leg, a kiss, cheese, foam, froth. So again, I can't tell you how many times like ocean foam or froth has come up this week. To cosplay as well, which is coming up as someone who likes to dress up like an actor, costume play. CIS is the double bond. This cos dance is also the cosine dance, and the sine is the sine wave of the S or the C of the whispering bench times 2, reflecting itself. So CIS, as part of Francis CIS, it means double bond in which the greater radical on both ends is on the same side of the bond. James Bond, 007, or 00 gamma ray boomerang, the twin flames. CIS also means a coordinated compound in which 2 instances of ligand or that binding, are adjacent to each other. So, and when I was getting, as soon as I read that, was like when I'm doing my cards, you know how I tell you sometimes that two cards were together in two different locations in my read? That's what I was getting there. CIS is also having two mutations on two genes on the same chromosome of a homologous pair, or a meaning of one mind, right? A pair that's of one mind. CIS is also non-binary or non-trans, and they were talking about sexual or gender. It also means C sharp or on this side of, basket, cross keys, and the basket was coming up tons yesterday and today as well. Also the cross twigs as a support, the axis. The restrain, the handicap, before fussy, and U as in YEW came up. So St. Francis is the path of two boomerang rays who ran that Christos Sophia energy with a shared chakra system at 345, which is the 3D, 4D, 5D dance that we've been doing, going from 3D to 5D through the 4D bridge. The sun's choice of path and joy of coming together and in being alone in self-love. The Garden of Eden and the Garden of Prayer. Half full, half empty, as in the capital M and the capital T, the co-creation with Source or time out. Overfull or starving or in debt. Again, the polarities coming together. In either case, there is a garden to be in. At 423, the Emperor and the King of Wands. Or the survival of the King of Wands as well, because 4 is about surviving as opposed to manifesting dreams of the 8. So again, we have the 38, 28, 39 of the twin flames, Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups, the two bridges or divides, and the two blocks or houses. It just depends on your perspective. With the blocks and the dice having numbers on them of 6 and 5 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 5 and 2. The King of Pentacles, an energetic exchange, with the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Queen of Swords. The Knight of Cups committed to new passion, of the Two of Cups being 1-to-1 with direction, so there's that energy of the toroidal field again, and the wise community of birds. The 36 of Atlas leading the way, and the 16 of the supernova out of this world with the 6 of Cups, inner children, at 427 of surviving new passion. Or that supernova, because the Ace of Wands can be that big explosion of passion. Something new, right? Because when you get the nova, you're not getting the explosion, you're getting the light from the explosion. It just takes a long time to get here. It's not traumatic. It can be an energy and feeling how much light's coming in, but it's not traumatic as in an explosion. So that was the first read. So here is the one from this morning. So again, the same setup. Okay, Metatron deck, Nature's Whispers in the middle, and then the bottom is Shaman Dreams. I'm going to bring it up closer just so you can see the cards better. There we go. Metatron, Nature's Whispers, and Shaman Dreams down here. So in this read, this was done this morning. I cut the deck at 9:18, which happens to be my birthday, through 23, which is the 18 of the moon, the 23 of the King of Wands. And the 3 decks had, the 3 piles were 7 in the first pile, 2 in the second pile, which there's that 72 by 2 of the 144. And the third pile was 10, but it was coming up first 2, then 3 more, and then 5 more to be the 10. So it's coming up as 2, 3, 5, and 10. But first, it was also coming up as 725 before the 5 more came up. So 725 had come up the other day as well. I'm like, what the heck is with the number 725? So I looked it up again, because I think I looked it up that day. Because, 925 is silver, but what's 725? And when I looked up 725, not only 725, but 702 is Las Vegas. There's something about Las Vegas here. It's also 725 was coming up from sunsigns.org as far as angel numbers. The power of trust. The greatness is in you. A dream to accomplish. To stop blaming yourself. Being of noble character. And neatness also coming up. Your bedroom, your car, your workspace, your clothes, your food. Or do you live alone or feel lonely? You need to nurture something, perhaps a baby, a cat, or a dog, or something else. Celebrate other people's success, perhaps, or be effective and just typical now. It's the right time to take action. A beautiful future is nearing. Okay? And so then I looked it up in the Gematria. And the first entry was Re, Sag, Sun. And the SAG, it's abbreviated, but it means Sagittarius. But Re, Sag, Sun literally came up as 725 and 720 again, which were the numbers that came up in the piles. And notice the date. It's 10/5/2022. And when I split up that third deck, it came up in 2, 5, 2, 3, which equals 5, and then 10, which is that, again, that 2, 5, and 10 energy, and 5 and 10 coming up there too. And the 72 by 2 on the Wounded Warrior's journey to get to the Fool's Path, or to their destiny, which is coming up with the numbers right there. 725 is also the 72 and 5, which is change, which is 5 can also represent half, right? Which can represent the 36 of 72 as Atlas and the weight of the world, or doubling the 72 to the 144. But again, both 702 and 725 came up as Las Vegas area codes. And then the Gematria was Re, Sag, Sun. 725 and 720 both came up, as well as 120 and 30706 hits, which I didn't write the rest of the hits down. But this is the list of things that came up. First was Re, Sag, Sun. Then December, abbreviated, DEC, Snake, Zodiac. So there's both very similar energies between Sagittarius and December, and the Snake, and the Kundalini, but that can also represent Hydra. Re's Lord came up, and then IHVH, which I didn't look up, and I meant to. So let me look that up now, see if anything comes up with that. I don't know if it will, but it might. Let's see. IHVH. So it comes up as capital letters, so it's Yahweh. It's the Tetragrammaton. IHVH. Which I didn't know that. So again, Jehovah, all the different ways of saying it. Yahweh. All right. So IHVH comes up right there, as well as Q, the capital Q, Make America Great Again, a message. As well as Unami. One second. So Unami means equal law, which is funny because we're talking about, right, equality of Sophia, or well-adjusted constitution of government. So there you go. So Gematria is confirming what we were just talking about. Also, One Nation Under God comes up. Cash App Gioni, and Vlad and Lev, so VLAD and LEV both came up, as well as Zimmerman, and the final one I wrote down was Numbers Do Not Lie, and that was 725, 1116, and then 186 were the numbers that came up with that. So at 10:01, so the 10 of destiny reflecting the magician, manifestation, the underlying energy was, again, 19 of that fire card with the dragon and the pyramid, the 45 of empowerment, and the 26 of the gathering around, the 19 of breathing in the ether around your heart, then lighting up with the pyramid fire in your belly to send it to source, like a hot air balloon. Empowerment of the 45 of purging, allowing yourself to purge in order to find peace, that reset, but doing it each day so it's not traumatic. The 26 of the Page of Wands and the power of community to light up the grid. At 10:05, which is today, by the way, but this was the time, the 10 of destiny, the 5 of change, freedom and expansion, the underlying energy is the blue Madonna card, and it comes up as the black Madonna, but she's just very dark blue Madonna. Present with gifts, holding alignment with Sirius, of compassion and reflection, the 41 as above so below, and the weeping pink willow reflecting itself in the water, presents a pillar and the horizon line. 2 capital I's, capped like a tree, and the infinite horizon of infinite planes of existence, right? Because normally you see the vertical pillar as being infinite, but here it's capped off by the trees, and they're showing the horizon line as what's infinite in its planes of existence. And I is the source in twins of I am and am not. Clearing using diamond light to shower and see the shadow to go within for clarity on that. The 4 of letting go of survival mode. It's time for release in the fall, letting go of the old leaves as the trees to become something new. The 46 of the authentic inner children, and who are you today? The 5 of communicating your message with an organic mouthpiece. And now whenever I get mouthpiece, they're actually writing peace as P-E-A-C-E, a peaceful mouthpiece, or an organic platform to sing, chant, tone, or be heard, as heard is all, and one is heard. 44 of the beacon, which means be lighter, as the waves rush into Atlas, triggering them to light up and shine on. The 19 of the fire, returning the ether breath back to source once it's been filtrated, through your body. At 10:13, which is destiny of the transition. All right, so then we have 10:13. The first card out here is the 47 card. So there's that 47 of the sweet spot, just airing to the side of the light in numbers, where 4 to 7 is just above 5. The 4 to 7 is also the heart chakra to the crown chakra of blessings and thanks of abundant universe, and the sweet spot, the heart chakra to the crown. The 4 to 7 and beyond. The dragon lines are called within Earth to inspire Atlas to breathe in the ether. So not only are we breathing in ether and sending that energy back up to source, but calling in the Earth, right? Because that's the dragon lines in Earth, and then Atlas is the map of the Earth, to breathe in the ether and send the residual back to source. The 50 of the whole family, the Earth and all of her creatures. The 10 of Cups family of signs and synchronicities from Spirit with Love. Good healthy food and little birds. The Queen of Wands orange Isis to connect, stretch and lunge and attune. The fiery side of Mary Magdalene also being guided to fire up and release back to source. Residual or stuck energies to recycle, so to speak. An open invite from the number 33 gateway to stand up for yourself without being confrontational, but being truthful with love and walking away when needed. There's nothing to prepare for, just you to be in every situation of truth and love, and as it gets heated, you know it's time to walk away and release that energy up to source. You can always try again later. The horse and their trainer just shows up every day with an apple, love, and patience. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. The number 33 and the number 66 of the Christ Sophia energies are extending an open invite to the pearly gates between the gate holders. The Christo Sophia Magnetic Metatron Rainbow Antakarana 4D Bridge to achieve bliss with the number 99 Unlimited Source. So breathe the air and transition to ether for better liftoff. Thoth as the science mind and Metatron as the magnetic heart. Fly free to align with the clarion call, the clear connection to come home for dinner, as Thanksgiving is right around the corner and she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. At 10:26 of Destiny and the Page of Wands. The cosmos mirrors you in the wake-up call, in the air signs now of Libra and Aquarius, to take in that ether, and as the Knight of Wands, fiery knight with a slow burn, release that heart fire up to source, to the gate holders if needed. There's an open invitation here. The indigo child, whole and complete, aligning with their star, the mystery and mastery of the plus sign star, and the X that goes on top of that, the dance of the 0 point, the Swa, star, and Sophia, whose core daughter extends to the moon, where moon is MO of the human of Mary Magdalene, and the O-N of the human of Christ. The Mo Mary Magdalene Sophia human co-creating, and the JC human unifying. But I was also getting right here untying the knots. The two parents of Jesus and Mary Magdalene that made the daughter Sarah. Mary and Father that made Jesus, and then Sophia and Christ with Sarah. The twin quantum energy that triggers more than two on their own. Like Beetle and Bella and the Star of Bethlehem, where God loves all their children no matter how badly or saintly they behave. For Mother Father just wants you to find moderation and balance, a place of give and receive, of allowing and letting go. The indigo fire leaving to cool off, or learning to cool off actually. The indigo fire learning to cool off. And again, the energy of being too cold and needing to warm up, to come to the middle. Moving forward while shining bright light in the explosion left behind. That'll come up in a minute. In collecting the residual light. Okay. So at 10:39, which is Destiny in the Knight of Cups, first 7 cards came up here, which is the Chariot. And the 7 is also the Gamma Ray. Powering up, the calm before the storm. Circling around to gain momentum for that final push. And again, that's talking about the retrograde energies. Coming back around the mountain in order for that final push to make it up the mountain. The 23 of the King of Wands, who's in duality, knocked off balance by the collective awakening. The mother flowering, crowning all her children, as the Knight of Cups 39, Green Emerald Order, is healing the heart, as the Knight of Swords 53 unlocks the keys to codependency in the family lineage through the sprouting of the tree, the children and the grandchildren. The 31 of the transformation of the dark and light to alchemize the chaos and control into peace on earth. Open to the light with shadow just behind. Your back can handle the weight of the shadow pack as it learns to mold with your body. The 30 of the Silver Warriors of Light, the pushing and pulling of the sword from the stone, the word from the tone, learning to work together for the best result, getting used to each other until you're relaxed enough to come apart. The 51 of the King of Swords, of white and purity and innocence, where here we have the King of Wands, the Empress, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Swords, the father, mother, brother, sister, from chaos to union, coming home for dinner, with the King of Swords to purify with diamond light and angel wings. The Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands are passing their excess energy stores up to source, and again there's food drives and collections coming up as well to remind you about that, to transmute the energies of mother and father for indigo child to be able to connect directly without the negative interference or influence that the parents had dealt with. So again, the parents clearing the way for the children. At 11:03, with Justice and the Empress and the Earth, the underlying energy of the 2, Divine Feminine High Priestess, where butterflies are headed together to the moon, the butterflies representing the transformation of the daughters. And again, the feminine energy in both our daughters and sons. The King of Cups with a clear course of action, of unconditional love, of course, and the Knight of Cups with clear endeavor to end their emotional attachment to spring only and enjoy the winter for a change, or the blanketing. The 42 of the 2 of Cups, and time to blush, to let love be your beacon, be lighter, as the peacock is glued to her right arm, going everywhere she goes. The 32 of the Journey, to trust your own understanding, and the 25 of the Knight of Wands, to keep your dreams alive, with kisses from baby. The 41 of the Ace of Cups, of self-love, spiritual love, and new love, to be in service to the little ones. In the October Opus, one who is good with disguises, or like an actress or actor, the octopus teacher on how to survive, but not so much on how to enjoy your children. For the octopus dies for their children. Clearing a wound of the requirement to die for your children, the sacrifice, where all action should be coming from a loving space, to enjoy what you love, as opposed to abusing your children for standing in your way. Following your bliss and taking responsibility for your happiness. If the communities all work together, then the group mothers who just love to be around kids all the time would then be able to care for the kids whose parents are unable to feel this. Those parents may be able to do something for those other mothers in return that they love to do, or perhaps pay for the supplies. It's important to live through true, honest intention of what you do and don't resonate with. The 45 of the purge to empower yourself in purging the excess energy or excess light or excess water, etc., in order to find peace within at 11:20, aligning with the wake-up call. Don't hold it in. Purge each day at sunset. So again, the wheel, the star wheel was coming up again. This is the pinwheel of the 4 fours coming together at the heart, the 0 point, and again the star energy here, but it's showing the movement because it's not quite at a right angle, right? It's that boomerang shape of the 7, the gamma, the 4 gammas here, and causing the interruption of the triggers cause direction. They cause the toroidal field to not just go up and down and across, but to go in a certain trajectory or direction. Moving forward while shining that bright nova star, the explosion left behind, right? We're not feeling the trauma of that, just the light, the collecting of the residual light, and the 7 of the gamma boomerang. And boomerang was coming up as boom, ERA of era, and then NG, which is Jesus God, that Christ God connection. The Crazy Eights dance with trajectory of the pinwheel moving, which then brings in my old pinwheel picture of how the masculine and feminine work together, and then putting it into a wheel to make it move. And that was based on the safety pin of the masculine and feminine collecting sun. So purging at the end of each day so as not to let it build up, the 11:20 of justice and the wake-up call, and the 15 of the shadow side. To catch your breath by holding a tree perhaps, after doing some shadow work. To ground yourself, or soul retrieval, bringing all of your parts back to you. Coherence, where co here means being here with somebody else. To be in your body as two, your divine masculine and divine feminine, both balanced and unafraid. As being outside your body is running away, unless you're making a delivery, of course. With 5, here is clearing out the old, allowing the change to happen. The 33, to be gentle with yourself in that Christ energy of unity consciousness. And the 28 of the choice of path, or the twin flames, as bountiful harvest of twin preparations around the globe. When standing up for those starting to purge, feeling insecure or afraid, ungrounded in the dark, confused on which way to go. So all the energies that the collective is all going to start feeling, or if they haven't done so already, and then they're going to start coming towards the twin flames at 11:26, which is justice, and the 26 of the Page of Wands. The 2 cards then came up of the Divine Feminine High Priestess, and the 49 of the 9 of Cups of self-love and nurture, and how important it is for you to take care of your body so that you're ready when you're needed. Remember to feed yourself well, get enough rest and water, clean water, and happiness, right? Have some love around you, whether it's people or a pet or just something you love to do or you do on a regular basis. The 9 of Cups of self-love and nurture in heightening your vitality, especially if you're feeling under the weather. See yourself in the sun. So if you're sick, see yourself in the sun's rays. The 30 of adventure in the elephant's call. So here the elephant, so many things were coming up besides Kilimanjaro here. The Strait of Gibraltar was coming up, Atlantis, Spain, Kilimanjaro. There's other stuff as I go that you'll hear too. But the elephant's call, there were 2 cards that came together. It was so weird because it's like the one who's under the weather or just putzing around the house, where the conch shell as a bridge on the other card became her elephant's trunk. So literally, you could be blowing your nose, or a volcano could be blowing here. Kilimanjaro, I'm definitely getting is active. There's something in Spain with the volcanoes too. but it also has to do with the Rock of Gibraltar, right between Spain and Africa, and Kilimanjaro is in Tanzania, which is Africa. So the energy of the 30 of adventure in the elephant's call, and again, remembering to light sage to clear the energy. Algae was also coming up here for colds, but then I was getting like seaweed type stuff, the stuff from the sea, which would make sense that it would naturally heal you because it's got the energies of the sea in it. So algae or seaweed, or even a shell platform. The elephant making an announcement to bridge across lands. Self-care also in phoning home. The Strait of Gibraltar, and I was getting home, om. No, for those of you who don't know, the Strait of Gibraltar it stores computers and computer data in there. So I don't know if something is supposed to be happening, because the sword and the stone coming apart was relating directly to the Rock of Gibraltar here. But this is the Strait of Gibraltar, where the Strait of Gibraltar aims towards the United States. Home. Self-care in phoning home. The Strait of Gibraltar to home, which is the United States. Spain and Africa connection there at the Strait of Gibraltar. Snuffleupagus was coming up. So again, another reference to elephants. And Snuffleupagus are having the sniffles. The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. I was getting the inner plains, but I'm also getting the wounding of the elephants here. And Atlantis, I was getting a personal relation to that wound with me and my daughter, both. And I was getting, the cards that were coming up this week were also coming up around the sinking of Atlantis and how traumatizing that was when we lost our bridges and our landmass, and literally seeing the buildings and things like that underwater, where the dolphins were there, witnessing this, and this can be a trauma to the dolphins as well, where the bridges were flooded out, where Atlantis went underwater, and algae and mold and moss grew, and things that may not have been healthy for you, with mountains about to blow, and I'm getting specifically Kilimanjaro, which is northeast Tanzania, near Kenya. On 10/5, I looked up to see if there was anything going on with Spain. Spain and Germany are meeting today in northwest Spain in a one-day summit on Europe's energy crisis. I was looking at the mountains in Spain to see if any of them were triggering me about volcanic eruption. But I'm not sure about Spain, but it was coming up there. I was getting Tenegria, which is La Palma, I think. La Palma. I don't know how they're pronounced. I took French in school. I didn't take Spanish, so my Spanish accents aren't very good. But also Colón in the Tenerife island. Those two may have been coming up. But in Kilimanjaro, the three cones are Shira, Kibo, and Mawenzi. And Mawenzi was coming up specifically, but it'll come up again in my message here more so on how those three cones are interacting between themselves, which also parallels the twins. At 12:15 is the Hanging Man and the Devil, the underlying energy of the 40 of the Page of Cups in mindful group think. The 34 of the Eight of Wands in Arrows of Love are energetic exchange of Kilimanjaro, an energetic exchange with the lay of the land and the King of the Hill. So the 33 then came up of standing up for oneself without getting triggered with joyful inspiration, and the 53 of the Knight of Swords, the curious stranger, where sparks fly. So here again, that card's coming up with the sparks flying, which is referencing the volcanic eruption. And I was getting a threesome here, which they're talking about the three cones of Kilimanjaro. Perhaps three cones. One, I was getting the first one, which is the order I told you. Shira was the first cone that developed, and then Kibo, and then Mawenzi was the most recent one to develop. The first one I was getting has back and forth lava. It's active. It's not inactive. It's active, but just back and forth. The second one is being impish. They're the one who's being the little child, kind of triggering the two on the outside. And then the third one is where sparks are flying with a message to bring. It's like the middle one is instigating the two outer ones to spar with one another. The 37 of the King of Cups, unconditional love, and the Magician's sword of confidence and magic. And there's this sword and stone energy of what happens to the stone once you pull the sword out, because then the stone is the rolling stone and it can start rolling. And it's coming up as the divine feminine underwater, holding up that stone or that moon, right? Because now she's underwater, so there's no gravity. So it's easier for her to hold up that weight of the world. The magician's sword with their confidence in magic and unconditional love. The 41 of the moon maiden with self-love and nurture and new beginnings, using that lightness of gravity in water to carry the weight of the moon, or the stone once the sword has been removed. And that can be like the thorn, taking the thorn out of the side. Right? What happens when you take a knife out of the body? It bleeds out. So usually you don't want to take it out. You don't want to take the wound out of the sword out of the heart, right? Because then the heart will bleed out. So the 26 is the Page of Wands, inspiring the community to gather around, and the 14 of the Drifter, channeling down the river. The Page of Wands, perhaps Sagittarius, experiencing life as it comes. The 13 of the Dream Thief, in transition, trying to cause havoc to block you from your path, like making bridges go down. And I was getting London bridges falling down before as well, but there's a lot going down there anyway. London bridges falling down, falling down, falling down. London bridges falling down. Is it My Fair Lady? I always forget. But anyway, the Rock of Gibraltar is also coming up here with the flying monkeys, right? Because the queen's no longer around, but the flying monkeys associated with the queen are coming up and, to parallel to the Wicked Witch of the West with the monkeys, right? And it's not me giving you an opinion about the queen. I do believe that she came in with a positive trajectory, but ended up getting, kind of owned by the dark. So there's that energy of the dark monkeys still hanging around at the Rock of Gibraltar, and where all this data is stored in the computers. The Rock of Gibraltar with the flying monkeys, and inspired to a higher love, but while in transition, you guys, the 22 of the Fool's Embrace, taking that leap in a child's pose. Remember, we start with 1, 2, 3, jump. The 22 of the Fool's Journey with an open heart, taking that leap of faith, embracing, though, in child's pose, like doing a cannonball dive, or a piece of Venus blows, or Ganymede, or Betelgeuse sends a ball flying. So there could be some small piece of rock, that gets reported, coming out in space somewhere from somewhere. And Venus was coming up yesterday, too. Venus was coming up actually in the movie I watched last night. So Venus was very significant. But it was coming up as orange, which can be Ganymede. And those are Metatron energies too as well. But also that can be Betelgeuse. So at 12:30 here is the Hanging Man and the union of the 30, the home, and the 45 of the purge, the grieving, the loss and regret, to let go. The planets are purging just like us, repairing the veil with forgiveness, weaving the pages back together, articulating the binding, the bond that is flexible, the pages or 2 dimensions being bridged together. The 30 of the horsemen heralding in the change, it's like the 6 of Wands or even the Knight of Wands energy heralding in the change. And then I was getting the hop, step, and jump of 1, 2, 3, jump. But actually I did the hop, step, and jump in the Olympics in elementary school, which is so funny that comes up. Heralding in the change, which is like the long jump, the hop, step, and jump, or fall, weave, and leap. The 27 of the Ace of Wands with a passion for the heart home, or the drifter comes home at Thanksgiving. Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Aries combination here, and that can be referencing Kilimanjaro, so watch out if that's the combination. That's like the Scorpio in the middle of the 2 fire signs, instigating the 2 fire energies, falling, fixing, and flying out of there to get home. At 12:36, the Hanging Man and the 36 of Atlas. And again, anything I bring up here is nothing to fear. If you live in a volcano zone, you probably are aware of it, but please take any messages seriously. There's 2 cards here with the 54 Page of Swords and the 3 of the Empress, or Abundance. As the Page of Swords is initiating the crossing as Mercury, the messenger, into the benefactors of grace and generosity. So here's that duo that I told you when I told you about the totem duo. which is the desert. This one's more about in the jungle, cuddling up inside. So half the tree is laid down in order to bridge, to rebuild a bridge to get to the mushroom, to enjoy the show, or in moving dimensions to remove yourselves from danger. So remember, all it takes to go into another dimension is to raise your vibration, to be heart-based and happy and loving and kind. So if you feel yourself in a dangerous situation, the natural thing to do now is to raise your frequency. So like help people see the bright side of the situation. Even if somebody gets mad, you keep being loving and kind until they calm down. If you get upset, then it's just going to fuel the fire. To remove yourselves from danger, the best thing to do is raise your vibration. All snug and warm, all cozy and cuddly together with Mum. Time out as he cross and sing. Initiation, which is, in it, I am at connection. The instant messaging to the I am, of the Page of Swords Mercury to Earth, Terra Gaia, or Mum. The 42 of, and then that's when U2 is coming. It's not 42, it's actually U2, which is the Two of Cups, which is U2. I would climb any mountain only to be with you, is the quote coming up. 3 cards of the Empress and Abundance, and then the 7 of the Chariot and the Gamma Ray. The Sacred Covenant, unwritten, to write your own story. The Chariot of the Feminine within the Masculine, ascending through the Digamma, the 2 Gamma Rays, the 2 keys. I was just getting of serendipity, but I was also getting sovereignty is what I actually wrote. The 2 keys of serendipity. The 35 of the Wounded, I was just getting, if you want to watch the movie, watch Serendipity, especially if you've never watched it, you have to watch Serendipity. The 35 of the Wounded Warrior who lost their way. At 11:11, the 11th hour, getting back to integrity as a star is born. In the pinwheel stars to turn. So again, as a star is born, the pinwheel stars to turn. In discerning, the 17 of the Eye of the Needle, then again, the needle in Seattle is coming up as Bill Gates. And here I'm getting it, they may be in the contracting stages of it. If there's not already a CERN thing below ground there, I'm getting again that they're contracting some kind of CERN stuff at the Seattle Needle. The two-eyed, and again, he's based there in Seattle. The two-eyed or double vision of intent of the twin flame quantum energy of push and pull and transmutation with destined interruption or interference to change the course in the eye of the needle with channeled intent. And again, the Space Needle CERN was coming up here and waiting to contract. And again, it's also telling you, you can always send love light any of these places to change the energies there. You do what resonates with you. 5 cards here with change, freedom, and expansion of 2 cards and then 3 cards, which equals 5. Perhaps Sisters free, or High Priestess and Empress or Abundance equals the High Priest of freedom, change, and expansion and romance. The 57 of the 3 of Swords of the unmarked trail of confusion in the maze of amazing grace and extreme under pressure of coal to break and surrender into diamond while getting screwed in separation. The unmarked trail of revelations of the Divine Masculine Magician with tidy house, or runs a tight ship with no tolerance for lip, or clearing or cleaning house in separation, with roots gone, wild, or ivy all over the place. The 10 of destined to dive deep into a task, and this is coming up for the masculine here, of the 47, which is the 7 of cups, but also the 4 to 7 sweet spot of the heart to the crown, to build a bridge to union. The sky bridge, Sophia's KY, of energy at 0 point, building the Sophia's sky bridge to union. The 56 of the 2 of Swords of knowing without knowing, in building a bridge, tearing down walls, or setting up a theater for eclipse season, or to see the supernovas or northern lights. As the twin towers fall, in the rubble becomes the wall. Okay, so again, just like the Twin Towers and the I'm just blanking out on the word, the memorial there, the Twin Tower Memorial. Again, it's saying like when the Twin Towers went down, if all of the rubble had fallen between them, it would have built a natural bridge, and then they just wouldn't have been so tall anymore. And that's the same energy of what's coming down here. The Two of Swords of knowing without knowing, in building a bridge via, therefore, tearing down walls, or setting up a theater for eclipses and supernovas or northern lights, as the two twin towers fall in the rubble, the fall in the rubble becomes the wall. And you can watch The Wall as well by Sam Smith, rather. If you've never listened to it before, it's one of the Bond songs. I.e., the bridge naturally comes back together by the falling of the wall. And then the last line of the read is home again, naturally. At 12:57, the hanging man and the separation, disappointment, or heartbreak. Home again, naturally. So you can listen to lyrics too of that. That has to do with lacking faith in God. So why would God do this, to my mother or my father or whatever? So, and allowing things to happen naturally. You don't always see what the universal energy is planning for you because it has to go through the whole world to come back to you again. It has to be the highest good for all. So you're not always going to see the rebalancing of the energies as one of 8 billion humans, right? It has to go through everyone's timelines in order to correct the things that are imbalanced. And you may not see the injustices in your life get corrected, but they are corrected, right? The other person will get some kind of other imbalance to their life to make them pay back. And you'll perhaps get money from out of nowhere because of the money that was owed to you from someone. You just may not see it, so you have to let go of the ego part of that, which expects you to get fairness in a situation, right? Which is understanding because you're human. But again, it's this spiritual path is not an easy thing to do. All right, so let's go back to the 7-deck read here now. If I can find it. There we go. And here is the 7-deck read on the table. It's the Sirian Starseed deck as the main deck. And then here we have the full 7-deck read. Okay. So, and I had done this read right after I finished posting the last read where the last line was about God speaks. And we've had rain like for 3 or 4 days now straight, at least. So lots of rain, and it's getting chilly too. So I'd run right before I ran before I did this reading. It was at I did a little bit different order this time. At 5:27 to 28, I cut and dealt the read, which was on 10/4, message received, 2022, and I was getting October opus right away. So the life's work of October coming together. And the Page of Wands, and 10/8 is coming up too. There may be something significant on 10/8. So what I did in this read, normally I'll do the summary at the end of the basic cards, but instead I did the basic cards first, and then I go into the code line and the messages, and then the rest of the read. So 527 is the 5 of change, freedom, and expansion, but also the Hierophant. 27 and 28 are the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands. So again, the twin flames and the third flame. We have, as in the read, the major arcana were Hanging Man, the Indigo, which is the Magician, the Lovers, Luna, which is the Moon, Starseed, which is the Fool, and before the read was Karma of Judgment, Transition of the Death card, Shadow of the Devil, and then after the read was Justice. So a lot of major arcana right there. Altogether it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 major arcana. We had 1 sword, 2 cups, 1 pentacle, 2 wands. So there's 12, 12. So the 2 hanging men hanging out. It doesn't have to be a man, but 2 humans hanging out. And in the read, all we had was the King of Wands in the read. So he's been the star of the show yesterday and today. And you actually see the King of Wands reversed right here, right? Needing balance. We have the King of Wands as the main character in the read. Before the read was the Page of Wands, which can actually be his inner child as well. And then after the read was just the Knight of Swords. So just one from each area. Page of Wands, King of Wands in the read, and then Knight of Swords after the read. As far as the numbers, we had double twos, double threes, double fours, double fives, double sevens, as well as 6, 8, and 10. So the most significant here were the 23 of the King of Wands, the double twos and double threes, which is the 22 of the Fool and the 33 of the Christ energy, the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself. The 55 of Excalibur, the Ace of Swords, that was big in this read as well as the Truth. And then in a lesser sense, 44 and 77, which came up last read, which were very significant as the sweet spot and the heart chakra to the crown, 4 to 7. 44 is the 4 of Cups, grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love, and being that social worker aspect of Atlas. And then the 77 of sovereignty. We also had 56 here of the 2 of Swords, 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, as well as 8, which is the Strength card of the dance of manifesting of dreams. And then 10 in a lesser sense, just reminding you to keep it high vibe. And 56, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, staying alive is what I'm getting. And then 57 of the 3 of Swords, and 67 also the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal, humble servant. 78, the 10 of Pentacles as well. And then 810, which is 0 or source energy, backing up the 81 of end of karma around the world. And that 81 comes from the numerology book, the Divine Triangle, because the cycle's based on the squares of the isosceles triangle, the two sides squared equaling the square of the hypotenuse, which is the final square, where each line equals 9 years and goes up to age 81, which then is like, all of a sudden you're free to choose what you want to do, if you want to stay or go. And that's just in general, not for twins. But the code line here is music, relationship change, leadership, and communication. And let's see, I didn't even write the numbers down. We have 2 and 3 in the read, in the code line rather, which is 5. So 5 is your number here today. Lots of change, freedom, and expansion, romance, vacations, excitement. All those things come up with 5. But again, regarding music, relationship change, leadership, and communication. So the wake-up call to transition through the portal, the shadow web, to the Page of Wands, to the Divine Feminine's heart. So some kind of inspired or creative or sexual message to the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower to face the shadow of the 2 of Cups and rise above the drama with flame in hand to tango with frog to prince, growth, juggling 3 and saving 2 for later. So again, there's that 5 again. While peaking above the clouds in the mists of Avalon, while tiny dancer in the Middle East. To end karma or karmic, transitioning from the Page of Wands, expecting woman to kiss their feet, to the Page of Wands at the foot of Lady Liberty in the 2 of Cups connection of the 7 of Wands and 5 of Swords, to rise and tango while juggling 3 points at the same time. Flames in the Middle East, or desert, Phoenix, and volcano by the water and or Kilimanjaro, which is when it first came up with 3 volcanic cones. So I was ultimately getting Florida, Phoenix, and New York. So there's a triangle there of, I don't know what's going on there, if it's storms or what. We already had the storm in Florida. But also there's a dolphin Sun Devil team in Florida, in Miami, I think. So that could be referencing just Florida again for Sun Devils. But I was getting Arizona, and I think somebody else I heard was talking about something in Arizona as well, or the desert. But Arizona, Florida, and New York were coming up as 3 points on this triangle here of flames so 7 of Wands and 5 of Swords, which is standing up without getting defensive, and the 5 of Swords of the war, the inner war, to rise and tango while juggling 3 points at the same time. Flames in the Middle East, or desert, Phoenix, and volcano by the water and or Kilimanjaro, with 3 volcanic cones, New York and Florida and Arizona, and that was coming up as Florida, Arizona, and New York comes up as FAN, which is fan, so fans, And then fans could be coming up for Dolphins and for the Sun Devils as well. At 5:52, which is change of the Queen of Swords. And that can be coming up as Lady Liberty again. And that card came up the other day, too, of the wedding at the foot of the Statue of Liberty, which is the etheric altar of Atlantis. The war within comes out to play. So again, there's the Earth or the planets acting up, as in the flooding in Florida and other natural disasters might be happening. The twin flame lovers, and again, it's not to go into fear, that you're safe. You just need to stay in your high vibration. If you're in an area that may have these things happen, listen to your warnings and take them seriously. And keep your energy high in a high vibe, loving, supportive, truthful nature. The divine feminine's lovers romance hang out as the Six of Cups and or with kids, the challenge being the workplace or co-creation, the indigo proposal or big download to starseeds, or propose to wake up the King of Wands, the man of passion, which can represent the waking up of the masculine side of the earth, right? The King of the Hill to walk away, perhaps from the beach, or stranded out to sea, or on an island with the Five of Wands waves, or conflict, with divine justice of the Ten of Pentacles and the divine masculine's heart, with 5D message to come together right now over me. Come together right now over me. So again, the Beatles coming up, and Beetle and Bella could be coming up. She gets lighter, lift off above the drama with flame in hand. He atop mountain while juggling green heart healing, the man with no name. Oh, that's weird too, because the movie last night was Call Me By Your Name. Oh, that was weird. So again, she getting lighter, lift off above drama with flame in hand. He atop the mountain, the king of the mountain, while juggling green heart healing, the man with no name. Or looking down and needs to look up, or may have to deal with a right knee injury or anger block. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. As the twin flames, Six of Cups, challenged by co-creating with the King of Wands, the lovers and indigo proposal of romance, of download to the crown, or subconscious awakening by getting hit in the noggin, walking away unscathed, or at the beach with fiery waves, conflict getting off the island, with justice for the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, or legacy, and the divine masculine's heart in the Batcave, sending out a 5D SOS to come together right now over me. So at 6:10, which is that birthday that's very common in my family, my mother, my grandfather, my other grandfather, I think too, but I think that's also JFK is 6:10. Don't quote me on that, but I think he is. If he's not, then it's Prince William. I forget. Well, no, he's the 21st, I think. But anyway, so then GHT of chalices had come up, as well as chalices, or four chalices, the Four of Cups, which is that grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, and the Atlas energy of the social worker, and also the S of Sophia, God's height of emotions, and dealing with the Four of Cups and Sophia. So again, you know, the wrath of Sophia, right? If you don't share nicely, if you don't make things equal, then Sophia may get angry. And you don't want Sophia to get angry, because you know how Isis is. So that's coming up here. The GHT is coming up as God's height, right? The height of the flame, of the social worker, of the Sophia, the feminine side of things. God's height of emotions in the social worker, Sophia, or maybe stranded with Sophia, right, the masculine. And then at 6:25 was when I finished clarifying the twin flames, which is the lovers and the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands being the one with the slow burn in the Syrian Starseed deck. So 6:28 is the lovers and the twin flames, as the code line here was all about music, relationship change, leadership, and communication. I'm just getting communism for some reason as well. That's coming up. Sophia's sudden event, and the teaspoon also came up. And teaspooning, that term is about when you pee a little bit because you can't control it. So you might have leaked a little bit. But Sophia with a sudden event, or perhaps teaspoon, but is coming up as perhaps a tsunami or a thunderstorm or a tornado storm. In other words, ditto, idem, or id, as in ego. To Han, or the Happiness Hotel, to have and to hold, to do or to make, to talk about he, song, river, duck, ginger, Chinese, ear, arm, hand, foreleg, and wing, or branch, or con, or the inn by the water, or the river with ducks and ginger, to eat, talk, sing, have, and to hold, bits and pieces, co-creating, or the workplace with a Sophia suite, or safety and security for the moral man, right? To make her happy, right? Happy wife, happy life, that kind of energy coming up. Or Sophia's sine wave sets two or twin inns, his and her, or Happiness Hotel with the Sophia suite. Singing two sets perhaps with Happiness Hotel with Sophia suite for music, relationship change, leadership and communication, safety and security of ETs perhaps. Two, to have and hold, workplace to co-create with suite for Sophia again. And that can represent a sweet spot for Sophia, airing to the side of the light. The storm or sudden event, a bit of a leak, which can be an exaggeration, right? It could be a bad storm. And again, when I got the sudden event in Florida, southeast, before it happened, but I hadn't posted it before it happened. So here, the storm southeast, a bit of a leak, or two by the river at the hotel suite, which I will definitely resonate with that as well. Okay. So we have the Five of Swords upright, and below the Five of Swords was Karma upright, Transition upright, Page of Wands upright, the Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Shadow reversed, Two of Cups reversed, and I pulled the Seven of Wands reversed as well. So the top card here with the mini cards on it is the Five of Swords upright, which it's not like the typical Five of Swords. It's literally like a frog becoming a prince, juggling three with two on the ground of green orbs, standing in the midst on the top of a mountain, perhaps Kilimanjaro, or at the, with the mists of Avalon type of energy. It looks like someone at the beach with the jetties there as well. But like the king of the mountain type of energy, but having, the inner war going on of going from frog to prince. So the energy of the wake-up call in transition, where the Page of Wands is implementing a plan or getting the divine feminine to come out of the E tower, which I was just getting. The E tower is the F underlined, and the F being the Digamma tower. The divine feminine to come out of the Digamma tower, and that was also coming up as the Galactic Federation, to detox and disconnect or at a distance, defenseless to the energies of the group effort or demands. An offer that's too good to refuse, perhaps, or stretching a bit in energetic exchange from frog to prince, implementing a plan to invest in the gym, or the grounding, integrating, and mastering of how to receive love, or to take a break and be bored for a change. Ignore the same old, small offers and face your fears. Standing strong in truth, or taking down the field if necessary, or hiring a guard to keep everybody out, or taking hostage until all is worked out. And that reminded me of Failure to Launch, where they locked them in a room until they worked out their issues. While the Ten of Cups family deals with death upright, the patient angel hangs out to duke it out or have fun with a group. Defenseless to the Ten of Swords, bleeding out in a wake-up call. And again, that's when you pull the sword from the stone, there's bleeding of the heart. So here's that bleeding of the heart. So the sword's been removed from the stone. Defenseless to the Ten of Swords, bleeding out in the wake-up call, destined to school the goose at a distance or in disconnect of the Emperor reversed, now with new information. And if the Emperor's reversed, he's either not doing well, or he's abusing his power, or he's stepping down from power in some way. Destined, Two of Cups reversed, out of control, or the Emperor reversed, stepping down with new information, or two, getting screwed, or Aquarius upright and Libra upright with Aries reversed, with Scorpio and Sag upright, Capricorn or Pisces upright as well here too, with Dark Knight and Angel hanging out with group. And I was just getting I was just getting, hold on one second. I was just getting Indigo Angel. So I don't know if she's hanging out with a Dark Knight or a masculine on her site. She might be. But I was just getting that for her, Indigo Angel. And she just had a group thing with Z and another woman too. I can't remember her name. But they're starting to join up with each other. So that's another group to pay attention to. So Dark Knight and Angel hanging out with group, sports, or in pursuit of happiness, defenseless to energies or will of the group, bleeding out from judgment, destiny of disconnect. Now the Emperor reversed has new information or clarity. The Page of Pentacles student, invite or opportunity, or research on the wounded warrior, sister, or suffering in silence, stressed out, or in the wake-up call. The student of war, or hired someone to snoop or stand guard while sleeping, unable to sleep, sister, or suffering in silence, or crying in bed, or taking call, or in guarded condition, or funeral services. You deserve love, and beneath that was trust. With the Seven of Wands reversed, defenseless to a loving advance, with big love at work, with the Queen of Pentacles upright, in a harsh split or divide, in a death or ending or transition, or death after surgery perhaps, and I'm sorry if that happened to you, or a lie about a death, or ending, or someone about to get killed if they don't stop begging or licking their toes. And that definitely sounds like a dog. Or someone here begging to come back or begging them not to divorce. And perhaps that can be a relationship where somebody liked to have their toes sucked or something like that. So manifestation comes up in the 8 of the dance. And then self-discipline coming up with again, about self-care is big right now. Don't do too much. If your body is feeling depleted, you need to rest and allow your body to recharge. And you may have a hard time with our kids doing that too, right? Because they're always go, 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 not wanting to deal with being still. The 41 of the Ace of Cups, that can be opposites, right? The kids who all they want to do is be still, and the kids who all they want to do is go, 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 and learning to find that balance. Release of insecurity and discomfort with emotions, or in dealing with emotions. With the Two of Cups connection, right? People who have a hard time connecting one-to-one, or withholding or saving for completion. The World, come full circle. The Divine Feminine or Pisces with open heart may be weakening them. With Gemini or Virgo reversed and Leo, Pisces upright here, the little imp being sneaky or put their foot in a socket, or the Divine Feminine plugged in, weakening the chains that bind them. In a good mood, but not taking the pet for the walk, or released from manipulation, or that can be someone who feels like they're on a chain as well, or being leashed by their partner. So someone's in a good mood, but they're not willing to go out for that usual walk, or being chained by the partner, or released from manipulation to not walk away in deep connection, planning a new life to come full circle with a need for strength and courage. Weakened by war with clarity and a decision made, an announcement of death or ending or transition to manifest a dance. After the Empress and the Knight of Swords, and after the Empress and Knight of Swords both upright here, the Knight of Swords is bringing truth or delivery to the Empress after not coming together, with the King of Wands reversed, or the King of Wands reversed failed to deliver. The King of Pentacles reversed may be manipulating or insecure about the Empress and justice and or truth and balance, and that can be worried about court as well. The King of Pentacles reversed, perhaps with Gemini or Virgo in their chart, with Taurus and Libra investing in the Knight of Pentacles delivery, offered to help or heal by juggling, performing together, or with soulmate or kids. At 8, I took a dinner break right there. That might be a message for somebody. At 8:14 is the dance of strength and manifestation, the 14 of that higher love, of patience and balance. The recent past here is the Hanging Man coming clean about disconnect or distance, not seeing eye to eye, with third party or not coming together, with the King of Cups reversed, Scorpio, or the King of Cups reversed exploding at the Queen of Swords, speaking to the Hierophant, or about marriage, religion, or an establishment that's been broken or stuck. Or Taurus upright, Cancer reversed, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, community of dysfunction or loss, with Hermit upright and the Four of Swords upright, and the 5D connection of resting in the energetic exchange with the Hanging Man. weakened by the inner war. The foundation here is the Two of Swords reversed, the twin flames reversed. After a split or divide, a break up, a break down, a break in out, or a breakthrough, and that can be emergent energy as well with the Chariot reversed. The Page of Cups is on a quest of the impossible dream, in need of their twin flame without choice, and central energy of the Six of Cups, of the inner children and outer children loving each other, inner children with synchronicities, or Taurus with children shopping, outer inner children healing rejection, jealousy, insincerity, or the Knight of Cups reversed, afraid of embarrassing themselves in front of the judge, the justice, or Libra, and the Knight of Wands rushing in to heal with the Knight of Cups reversed, lacking faith in Libra or the justice system. Challenged by the Three of Pentacles upright, the King of Wands reversed, and the Wounded Warrior upright here, whether the King of Wands is the Wounded Warrior or they're two separate people, sharing early morning or settling out, with the Queen of Pentacles upright who's satisfied, in need of energy to lead the way, to hang out and see new perspectives at the Three of Pentacles workplace perhaps, and that can be any place of co-creation, school, church, anything like that. A surprise inspection perhaps with the King of Wands reversed, and Hermit in a two-bull split, or machine broken down, or destined women around, and the Queen of Cups upright detoxing the High Priestess in the 5D world, or Pisces reversed, needing closure and walking away from the King of Swords. And that could be a soldier energy too, or even police. The King of Wands reversed may be frustrated walking away from the Knight of Swords upright, or uninspired to do it right now, at 8:31, which is the dance of the 31 of chaos, or the group. And the King of Cups, who's upright here, may be drained though, even though he's upright in that unconditional love energy. He may be drained or may have Leo in his chart, with clarity about the Page of Cups or Pisces. Maybe they have Leo in their chart too, or weakness, or maybe they have a pet, or a pet that's out of control, home with their world upside down, or the house torn apart by the kids and or a pet, with the King of Cups home, with the Page of Cups needing strength. So the King of Cups with the Page of Cups, he probably needs the strength, or vice versa. Where the King of Wands reversed is with the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Or excuse me, that's the Page of Wands there. The King of Wands reversed is drained, sick, or pissed off and physically abusive, with the Page of Wands upright with options, or seeing synchronicities of romance or fantasy, but no Ten of Pentacles dream family, that's for sure. With the King of Pentacles reversed juggling with the Magician reversed, or that can also be, if the Ten of Pentacles is reversed, it could be someone, a family going through a hard time as well. Maybe there is a funeral or something like that. So in that case, that wouldn't apply. But the King of Pentacles reversed may be juggling with the Magician reversed. Perhaps they're too out in the cold, in exile of that Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community, or defenseless to the energies or the group, or perhaps the group ganging up on them, or a man with two lovers, depressed or arrogant, or that's the Page of Swords reversed, Aquarius, with the Knight of Pentacles offering friendship or help to the Queen of Cups, who's sharing their codependencies, with the Empress, with two who are defenseless to a depressing message that was sent by the Empress, making the Queen of Cups feel badly, and detoxing with the Emperor reversed. The other two are upright though. Empress and the Queen of Cups are upright, but she may feel bad about detoxing with the Emperor reversed, who may be withholding or now playing hardball, releasing hostage or self from the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss. The Page of Wands may be fantasizing about spending family money on multiple lovers, or loved ones, Knight of Pentacles and Queen of Cups, in a shared codependency, with Empress upright and Emperor reversed, detoxing shame and guilt between them perhaps, or about the family. At 8:45, the dance of the 45, or the purge, or grief. And soon here is the Indigo reversed, with clarity perhaps about a deception, perhaps rescinding an offer made to dark night, or in a death in exchange for big love from lover in overindulgence, or in split, or someone who's been lying. Or Indigo reversed may be clear but insecure, and the Knight of Pentacles, Scorpio, may be offering to split for love with third party, or Scorpio Knight of Pentacles offering friendship to Gemini or Sag, or Twin offering big love. The Knight of Pentacles to the Knight of Wands, not coming together until the split is over or finalized, or until someone stops lying and or manipulating. With Hermit, and again, that could be trying to protect somebody else from their wrath. And then we have Hermit and Virgo with Cancer in their chart, Libra, Queen of Cups, detoxing with Pisces and Capricorn reversed in their chart, both in the 5D world walking away from the King of Swords, or two Geminis who come face to face, which came up the other day as well. I forget whose reading it was. Might be, oh, I think it came up in Virgo's reading. So two Geminis come face to face, and that may not be, if you're one of those Geminis, if you get triggered, you need to walk away. Don't start a fight. It's important. So Indigo reversed and King of Swords upright, deceitful Gemini. So the Geminis were coming up as one who's, like that Magician reversed kind of, really negative energy, and the other one's coming up as the King of Swords. So one may not look deceitful, right? They may be very smart that way, but they are. So deceitful Gemini made a decision to make the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles offer, coming off like that humble, loyal servant. A moderate offer in transition with Gemini. The Knight of Wands and King of Swords may be working hard. That could all be the same person as well. Or proposing to receive big love from the Knight of Wands lover or Gemini, with Gemini Knight of Wands upright, or lovers under or overindulgent. And the Knight of Pentacles right here may walk right over you if they don't get their way. So don't be fooled by the Knight of Pentacles exterior, because they're coming up as the Death card, which is the one who walks right over you at any cost. The Knight of Pentacles will walk right over you if they don't get their way. That can also be someone who's walking over their family, who's been blocking or manipulating them, and them no longer allowing them to block them. So they have to become that Death card of the Dark Knight to walk right over them in order to find their happiness. So the twin at 8:57, the dance of the separation, the twin flames are the lovers upright in this read. The Six of Cups is the center of the read. It's the the loving children inner and out. The lovers and the Six of Cups are both upright on this twin flame read. Emotionally fulfilled or family is by the High Priestess or secret keeper. So the Six of Cups, whether it's the children or the soulmate, the twin flame, is fulfilled by family or by the High Priestess or secret keeper, Pisces, nurse, aide, or sister. High Priestess in 5D connection or sleeping with patient angel in need of peace, overworked, or it's not working out. Present with the Queen of Wands reversed, hanging over the High Priestess or sister's head. Flirt comes up, give your relationship a chance. Love yourself first. And again, don't accept energy that feels like it's energy stealing, like vampiring. And even if it's someone who's going through a hard time, if it feels really bad to you because they're trying to get you to understand their refusal to let go, right, of the feelings, they're going to zap you of your energy. So give your relationship a chance. Love yourself first. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is Luna reversed, which is the moon, and the subconscious energies of betrayal, of ending pain or in a painful end, being looked at by Hermit or perhaps a professional, and the Queen of Cups upright without options or in need of twin, could be a destined or the Queen of Cups without option or in need of their twin, destined Libra dependent or powerless over the Queen of Cups. The twin subconscious, or just getting up very early in the morning, with Virgo and Libra both upright, perhaps both with daughters, or Hermit with Queen of Cups upright, and Libra with dependent or spender, or spending on the Queen of Cups upright. The challenge here being at 9:03, which is the Hermit and the Empress, the starseed reversed, hurting oneself, carrying too much for the King of Swords. The Knight of Wands starseed, or with Aries in their chart, Atlas working like a slave for the King of Swords perhaps, or worried that when information is expected, the downloads won't come. So again, that's like someone learning their psychic abilities, right? Worried when it comes to it, like when they're in front of people, that it won't work anymore, right? Worried the downloads won't come. Or afraid of embarrassing self in front of a lover or Gemini. With communication, leadership, relationship change, and music. With the King of Cups reversed, coming clean and or walking away, the Page of Wands is inspired by the weakness of the King of Wands, detoxing secrets to get closure and walk away from the King of Swords. And this could be a child who's getting a kick out of this as well. And this could be like, their father and their uncle, or older brothers, or people at work. Or the Queen of Cups upright with Pisces, or King of Cups reversed, walking away from the King of Swords. The Empress is reversed with the Page of Swords reversed. And the Empress was upright. What happened here too? I think I just wrote the arrow the wrong way. Because sometimes in the other deck she's not reversed. She's upright here though. So the Queen of Cups upright with Pisces, or the King of Cups reversed, walking away from the King of Swords. And again, this King and Queen of Cups, they could be the Emperor and the Empress. The Empress is upright, and so is the Queen of Cups. And the Emperor's reversed, and so is the King of Cups. So it could be the same couple. They could be two separate couples as well, just so you know. And that would be a very emotionally based family, or manipulative based family, or just a lot of water signs. But walking away from the King of Swords, or the Empress with the Page of Swords reversed. That could be an Indigo or Gemini child. Maybe guilting to detox the Emperor reversed, who may be withholding or saving or playing hardball here to release themselves from the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community dysfunction or loss. And the Emperor reversed may be the King of Wands reversed, walking away. In addition to the King of Cups reversed, the Emperor could be the King of Wands reversed, walking away. Perhaps the King of Wands reversed has Leo in his chart, or leaving with his pet or wounded warrior here. Detoxing codependency and learning or leaving to rest, on break, or to be an island unto themselves in pursuit of happiness, justice, perhaps spending the Ten of Pentacles money, because that could be an inheritance or a breakup and a divorce. Finding happiness, spending the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, or legacy money, or abundance. The Divine Masculine's heart opening up to the Knight of Swords, perhaps third party, or opening to delivery without coming together. And that could be doing, online sessions as well. Letting go to fix or make amends, to exchange truth without socializing, like not making it a social occasion. And that could be in a split as well. At 9:16, the Hermit and a sudden event or a tower event, an epiphany of some sort, or a sexual exchange. Letting go to fix or make amends, but not to and to exchange truth, but without it being a social occasion. To wake up to the transition, the Page of Wands upright to the Divine Feminine's heart to come out and connect one-to-one as the Two of Cups, to rise above the drama with the frog trying to become a prince. In need of the twin flame lover, first thing in the morning though, perhaps, to hang out as the Six of Cups, or to hang out with the kids or pets first. Challenged by the workplace scenario, with Indigo reversed, perhaps embarrassing the King of Wands reversed into walking away, to learn how to receive love, apart from steamy groups, or waves of flames seeking justice from the dysfunction of the Ten of Pentacles family, business, community, or world, of the Divine Masculines coming out of the caves to send the Knight of Swords 5D messages themselves without physically coming together with people. So liking to do that online work. Perhaps they've been doing a lot of in-person work as their career. At 9:21 with the Hermit and the 21 of coming full circle. All right, so there is your read. Where are we here? We're at 2 hours, 14 minutes. It was just a 1-2 as I said that. So Valentine's Day of the Magician and the High Priestess at 3:37 on the clock, which is the Empress and the King of Cups of unconditional love. All right, so let's just see what the animal deck. Wild Unknown Spirit. Yeah. If you like these videos, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you can share them, I know some of you may not want to share them on your personal Facebooks if you have any issues with your families and things like that, but if you can share them on other platforms, please do. It's 3:38 on the clock, which is the Empress and the Queen of Cups. So we went from the King of Cups to the Queen of Cups and the Empress. And Valentine's Day, it was just 52 and 53, which is the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So there's definitely couples coming together there. All right, the Wild Unknown Animal Tarot. What's our takeaway from all this? And these two fell right in my lap. Got two birds here. We've got the eagle, and they look like they're diving. And eagles don't dive into nests. They swoop. They dive when they romance. But here maybe someone is not paying any attention to them as the eagle is showing off for them, which is so funny because that's what Teddy does with the dog behind our yard. He'll race back and forth. He's showing off so much. It's so cute. But this is the diving dance. He's trying to romance the crow, or she's trying to romance him, or vice versa. That's really cute. This also could be someone surprising someone when they least expect it because they're just standing on guard at their normal post and the eagle comes flying in. And there's the golden egg, right? So they're standing guard over the golden egg, the nest egg, or the golden child. And there's the little bunny who's scared to be by themselves. And there's the sweet little birdie, the nightingale, with baby's breath and singing their song. And it's making me want to think of some song, but I'm not getting it. And I'm getting Barry Manilow, right? I'll sing the song that makes the whole world sing. Mm-hmm. Love can bring. I sing the song that make the young girls cry. Yeah, that's so funny because my mom liked Barry Manilow. I feel like my mom's coming through right now. So yeah, Barry, is there something very sweet? This is someone singing Barry Manilow. If somebody out there likes Barry Manilow or one of their kids does, this could be this energy here. And this is maybe this scared bunny, which could be an animal, but it also could be a child. Maybe the one thing that soothes them is hearing Barry Manilow. Makes them feel better again. So that's very cute, actually. But here's this nest of someone. This is someone perhaps triggering them or surprising them or trying to, show off for them in this love dance here of the two birds. And here's the nest of the golden child and perhaps two pets or two children who are very sweet and innocent, maybe feeling a little scared to be on their own, or maybe they're just very little so they can't be on their own. But this is one who maybe loves being serenaded at night. If you have to babysit for someone, they love to be serenaded, perhaps Barry Manilow songs. This also can be classical music could be coming up too. And I'm getting, what's his name? Who's the other guy? The video where he's like, it's really powerful video because he's in that red, white, and blue energy. I'm just blanking out on his name right now. Dark hair with the sideburns, the bushy sideburns. And it would remind me of Elvis, but it's not. It's the singer. What's his name? If I think of it, I'll let you know. Oh, Neil Diamond. All right, so I'm getting Barry Manilow and Neil Diamond. And there's the Neil and the diamond is coming up in another way too. Oh, how stupid am I? Kneeling with the diamond? Someone's getting proposed to. Okay, so someone's getting serenaded. Someone may be getting proposed to. Look, someone's dancing and showing off again. This is a proposal. How cute that is, how that came in. I love that. All right. The bottom of the deck is the hummingbird, right? I heard it through the grapevine, right? They're whispering in somebody's ear. Right? The crocodile cut off their nose to spite their face, so they're not in the picture anymore. They're back there. And this is somebody whispering in your ear. And that could be the whispering bench as well. I love that. That was so good. All right. I do want to pull, I'm going to do Romance Angels, but I also want to pull from my Ascension deck too, because the energies have been important coming up here. I might even give you a past life card too. Actually, let's do the past life card first, and then we'll see who's bringing it up. And this is Brian Weiss past life deck. I haven't used this in a long time either. Sorry, they're big cards. All right, so from the past life deck, and I have them both upright and reversals in this deck. That came right out. There we go. And that came up for me and my daughter yesterday and today. The dolphins in Atlantis, though, because normally you might think of the dolphins as Lemuria, but they're coming up as when the bridges sank and the land sank. You see all the structures under the water, and you see how dark and dirty the water is. So there was, there was a lot of trauma regarding the losing the bridges or the lands in Atlantis when it fell. And I'm getting literally the city falling into the ocean, and all the trauma that caused those who still be alive and the water creatures like the dolphins. So Atlantis is coming up as a past life wound, major, because it came up other than this for me and my daughter both yesterday and today. And then this is not healthcare upright, right? Because then this is coming up as a past life wound, but we didn't have healthcare, or alternative healthcare is a past life wound, because many of you may have been killed for practicing anything alternative. And then there's that Confederate flag energy of wars and battles, and this is coming up in the United States. So these are the wounds coming up for you guys. U.S. battles, alternative health or no health care available, and then the sinking of Atlantis. Those are big wounds. And then the wounds between the male and the female, the dance, right? And not speaking to each other, because that could be divorces and things like that. And there's more coming in. We can go through the whole deck, but food and hunger is coming up, so starvation. And then no angels, right? This could be a past life wound around angels. This is about, that could be the devil. Past life about no angels to protect me from starvation, things like that. Like, where were my angels when I was starving? Here would be a past life wound regarding angels, but this is a past life wound regarding a lack of angelic help. Like, where were you when I was starving? All right, so, and again, the spouse is coming up too, and with this energy here, the back and forth of the dance of the masculine and the feminine. Okay, so the bottom of the deck here is the scribe or writer. So here, this would be the past life wound of the scribe or writer. But this is the inability to write. Maybe you didn't know how to write, or didn't know how to read, or you didn't have paper to write. This was coming up for me regarding ships. Like, if you sank at sea, or you were at sea and ran out of paper, you had no way to journal if that was your work, or that's the thing that kept you sane, and maybe you lost or sank at sea. But this is a big wound for you, either not being able to write because, right, what you wrote wasn't accepted, or not actually having paper to write on, or not being able to read or write. So all of those kind of energies are coming up with this. There's a lot of stuff coming up for us to clear out. And let's see from the Ascension deck who is behind all of this. And there's lots of scam texts coming up on the phones about, you made a purchase, so please call back. I'm sure you guys are all aware of it. Please ignore those things. If there was a scam, that they would call you, or at least they would have proper email addresses of that company. But if you're not sure, call the company, and never just respond to the texts or emails if you're not sure. All right, that's coming up too, is, scams. All right. We have Archangel Metatron's retreat. So 28 is the twin flames again, but it's coming up as Metatron and the retreat. So the retreat is above the temple of Luxor, Egypt, where he holds the ascension energy. So again, this was coming up for us as well, the wounds regarding the sinking of Atlantis, where he holds the ascension energy of the world. He maintains his energy by bringing forward spiritual discipline. He suggests you commit to a spiritual practice if you don't already have one. Luxor is the spiritual throat chakra of the earth. As it ascends, people will communicate higher wisdom and link telepathically with all life forms. You're asked to send love and wisdom to all sentient beings. And this card invites you to visit Metatron's retreat in your sleep to accelerate your spiritual growth. Okay, so all of these wounds are coming up, accentuating the throat chakra of Atlantis at that time. And again, I am visiting Metatron's retreat in my sleep tonight. That would be your affirmation. Saint Germain is also coming up here again. 34 is the Eight of Wands, the energetic exchange, the arrows of love, the Lord of civilization. Let me just clear this a little bit better so maybe you can read it. Cooperates with Archangel Zadkiel to transmute the lower energies of the world in the violet flame. He's the great alchemist and magician who transforms that which no longer serves into something beautiful and light. Your guidance is to invoke Saint Germain, surround yourself in his violet light, and see the divine perfection, whatever or whomever you wish to transform. Your pure intention and focus can co-create with his energy to make miracles happen. Use this to help yourself and others to ascend. The affirmation is, I believe in my ability to create miracles. So you're visiting Metatron's retreat in your sleep and believing in your ability to create miracles with Saint Germain and using the violet flame to transmute energies, right? To take those negative energies and create something beautiful and light. And again, air is also coming up. So we've been talking about breathing in the air and breathing in ether. The 12 is the hanging man, it's wisdom, and Sophia. So Sophia is coming up in relation to that. The element of air supports truly magical cosmic qualities. The sylphs are air elementals working for the elemental master dom, and it's supervised by the unicorns, which also came up for me the other day. It was really weird what came up for me the other day. It was the baby in the basket with the unicorn's horn pointed at the baby in the basket. It reminded me of Moses, as I just felt like somebody was just on my left just now. That was really weird. Okay. You're guided to ask the unicorns to direct dominant sylphs to spread the qualities of air, enlightenment, ascension, enthusiasm, freedom, and divine wisdom into the minds of those who need them. Also ask them to purify currents of air and blow them to polluted areas so that they may be cleansed, which is, similar to the energy I've been telling you, to breathe in the ether and then send the energy back up to source because they need clearing of the ethers. Help the fairies work with flowers by acknowledging and appreciating them as well. The affirmations, I invoke air to carry angels singing around the world and bring hope and peace. So being the angels, and dolphins comes up again as next to dolphins, which we did the other day. And the bottom of the deck is Lord Kumika. 42 is the Two of Cups, the one-to-one energies. The affirmation, you can read it yourself if you'd like, is I call on Lord Kumika to enlighten and support me. I think someone was just asking on Susie Byler's on her channel. She does questions and answers from people as well. And he was asking about Kumika. I think it was Kumika. And Metatron's in this card as well. And the 8th ray, the ray of purification, enlightenment, and communication. You're on a quest for enlightenment with this card. And they're calling you to breathe in blue topaz light into your aura. Expand your attitude to one of unconditional love, acceptance of others, and personal responsibility of your own happiness especially. Kumika will open doors for you and guide your footsteps towards enlightenment and ascension. Okay. So I'm trying to remember what he was relating Kumika with. Oh, I think they were talking about the energies of what kind of healer Susie is. And he was talking about another one in my area here, because Susie's from the New Jersey area near where I am. I think it was he called it a Kumika healer, that she's a Kumika. Maybe I'm getting the wrong name, I can't remember, but you can check that out if you'd like to. All right, now Journey of Love. So we definitely had Saint Germain and Metatron coming up. Metatron very heavily there, as well as Lord Kumika and the underlying energies. And again, the first card that came out was Atlantis. Problems with healthcare, receiving it, or alternative stuff and not being allowed to practice it. American Civil War coming up here of the North and South. And then again, energies just between the masculine and feminine dance, really, of divorce and marriage. I was just getting love and marriage as well from the show. Yeah, but Atlantis is coming up big time. Wounds of Spain and elephants were coming up from my reads. And of course the sinking, like I said, and then the volcanic eruptions. There could be wounds around, old ones that are coming up for you that you experience. Whether it's the storms, the tornadoes, the floods like in Florida right now, or the volcanic eruptions. any kind of traumatic event, really. So let's see what Journey of Love has for us. Okay, I've got 2 coming up here. She Loves, which is the 61, which is the year I was born and my age. And She Loves is the 61 is the 7 of Swords card, which is that liar, cheater, thief card, but it's really a card about taking a risk. Taking a risk to love yourself first, and to love in general every day. And then the self-initiation, it takes of the feminine to take action, whereas here she's more at peace, and here she's in the chaos, in the midst of all this, the cyclone there, in self-initiation to find peace and wisdom, to hang out with the Christ flame. I was going to get that from the 12 as the hangman anyway. And then, of course, he comes up. There's the 31 of the chaos of feeling what it's like to be in his energy, having felt all this trauma. And her self-initiating into his energy. And notice it's the 1, 2, 3, 1. So it's that 1, 2, 3 jump into the oneness, taking a risk to love oneself first, and perhaps not jump into the fray to feel that energy, or learning how to jump into the fray without being traumatized. At the bottom of the deck again is her Grace. My mother's definitely here. Her name is Mary Grace. So 17 is the 17 of the star and healing. And again, Grace Kelly always comes up with this card. It's about the divine feminine's grace. And Rings of Time is coming up behind there too. And my mother was in an Alzheimer's facility for many years. And again, this is representing, extending that hand of grace to those who can't do for themselves. The 44 of learning how to receive love, and I always talked about that my mother and father were definitely in this Alzheimer's facility to learn how to receive love from people, they may never have given the time of day to. So here is the 44 of the Rings of Time and her grace and the underlying energies. Right? And also representing, there's more than one side to somebody. That can also represent both of my parents. But definitely coming up as healing, dreaming, and being that social worker type of energy. Right? To be loving to everybody. And again, Sophia coming up with equality to everybody. So we're going to read She Loves. And we also had the first card out in this deck was the Eagle. So we'll read those 2 and then we'll be all set. So the Eagle. The eagle, all-pervading power, truth seeker, transforms karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. The great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and our brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You're stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, they're bright, radiant, and challenges. When they're out of balance, they can be controlling. To bring back into balance, step into the unknown, right? So get past your fears and just do it. There's the eagle, and that's the one, the serenading eagle. And then we have She Loves, number 61. Something in the way she moves, 61. Forgiveness is here for you now. Can you partake of it? Forgiveness for your own self, for the times you messed up, didn't love, forgot to trust, tried to take over and decided against surrender. Forgiveness is here for you now, for the times when you couldn't forgive another, even if you really tried and really wanted to. She loves. She is here for you now. Open your heart to the angel goddess of forgiveness and let her fill your heart. You are free. This oracle brings you a message from the divine. You are forgiven. You're worthy of forgiveness and you're capable of great spiritual generosity in forgiving others. If there's a person you can't forgive, you're really just not forgiving yourself, perhaps for being vulnerable or not knowing better, or for not listening to your own intuition. It's time to let go and allow the forgiveness that the divine has for you to fill your heart. You are free now. You just need to realize it. The cherry blossom knows when to bloom each year and never questions whether its beauty is enough. There's peace in knowing you always bloom well, yet man spends a lifetime in wonder. Okay, it's 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. That was so weird. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Shut the door. Remember your water, your sleep, your joy, your nature. Follow your own intuition and rise and be love. Love and rise. As you guys know the drill. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to breathe ether. Bye, guys.